Our next broadcast premiered in 1935. The program struggled in the ratings until 1940 when it became a national sensation. Within 3 years, it was the top-rated program in America. Few radio shows were more beloved, and few play as well half a century later. It was the brainchild of real-life married couple Jim and Marion Jordan and was broadcast to the nation from WMAQ Chicago. The show entertained America until March of 1956 and continued on NBC's Monitor until 1959. We invite you to join us at 79 Wistful Vista with Fibber McGee and Molly right here on HOJO Radio.
And Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with I See the Moon at Noon. A very pleasant word in any language is that 8-letter word, vacation. A chance to get away, have a rest, have fun, visit new and beautiful places. A vacation is certainly something to look forward to all year. But how would you housewives like to have a vacation every week? A relief and rest from back-breaking work that is so unnecessary. You can, thanks to Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat, the easy-to-use floor polish that makes linoleum and other floors sparkle with beauty, that saves work all year long because it needs no rubbing or buffing. And not only that, but Glow Coat saves work by making it so easy to keep floors spotless and clean. How do you use Glow Coat? Simply apply and let dry. In 20 minutes, your kitchen linoleum, for example, will be gleaming, protected against wear and dirt. Spilled things are quickly wiped up with a damp cloth. And Glow Coat makes linoleum last so much longer. If you're not already a Glow Coat user, just buy a can from your dealer right away. Ask for Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. Looking through the family photograph album is guaranteed to arouse memories of days which have passed. Thank goodness. And here at 79 Wistful Vista, the family's Rogues Gallery is getting a once-over light from Fibber McGee and Molly.
And here's the baby picture of you, McGee.
Oh, sure.
No, don't turn the page. I want to look at it.
Molly, I haven't got any clothes on.
Don't be silly. Stop blushing. It's just a baby picture.
Any photographer who would take advantage of an innocent baby and take a picture like that is a menace to society, and he should be...
My, you look so bright and interested in the world.
Yeah. If I'd have been a little brighter and knew what I know now, I wouldn't have been so interested. Now, turn the page, Molly. That embarrasses me.
All right.
Uh-oh. Get a load of you in the 1916 bathing suit. You couldn't really swim in that Eskimo ensemble, could you? Where's the oars?
Well, as I remember it, dearie, it was considered more ladylike to stick one toe in the water, scream delicately, and then walk up the beach looking for pretty pebbles which weren't very pretty when they dried out.
Oh, well, I liked it. Hey, who's the handsome lifeguard in this picture with you?
Don't you know?
No.
That was Stinky Hinckley that I used to go to school with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look over here. Snapshot of Uncle Dennis.
Uh-uh.
He always wore those open-collar sports shirts.
He had to. There's a guy who's got to have plenty of elbow room for his Adam's apple.
Now, Uncle Dennis isn't so bad. You're inclined to exaggerate his weakness.
It'd be hard to exaggerate his weakness. That guy's had more swallows than Capistrano.
Ah, well, he isn't so bad. Oh, look. Here's a picture of you in your Army uniform.
Oh.
Ah, my soldier boy.
Hey, boy.
A little baggy in the puttees, but still my soldier boy.
I think those uniforms were designed by the same guy who made your 1916 bathing suit.
Still, it was a pretty good army for the shapes they were in it. Say, what was your rank, McGee?
I was a gold brick.
Were you really? Is that better than lieutenant?
It was better for me at the time.
Ah, now here's the picture I really love. Aunt Sarah.
Oh, good old Aunt Sarah. I remember. Oh, remember the time she kicked the horse?
Well, the horse kicked her first. Say, what became of that good picture of me on this page?
I don't know. It sits around someplace.
But I want to know. Heavenly days, if you're that careless with a picture of me, why, I want to be...
All right. If you must know, I'm carrying it in my wallet.
Ah, McGee.
Yeah.
Ah, do you always have it with you?
I better have. It's got my Social Security number on the back of it.
All right. I don't know why men hate to admit they're sentimental.
Protective instinct, I guess. A coconut looks tough, too, but where does it wind up? On top of a cake at a tea party. Hey, what did we start looking at this album for, anyway?
Because I promised Aunt Sarah a nice picture.
Oh, yeah.
But there's none of these I'd want to use. Say, let's go downtown right now and get some decent pictures taken.
No sooner said than the monkey grabbed it. Get your hat and let's go. Gee, I'm glad I shaved this morning because... Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little girl. I'm sorry, I haven't got time to talk to you now. I got to go downtown and have our pictures taken.
Why?
Well, on account of our Aunt Sarah wanted one.
Why?
Well, because she kind of likes us.
Why?
Because... Can't you say anything but why?
Sure.
Well, why don't you?
Why?
Never mind. What do you want, sis? Oh, I suppose you're hungry again.
No, mister, I'm not hungry.
You're not? Well, fan me with a flagstone. What's the matter, sis? Don't you feel good?
Sure I do, I bet you, but I'm just not hungry. Gee, I couldn't even go to the dog scorch this afternoon.
Well, that's to the what?
The dog scorch.
Huh?
Weenie roast to you, mister. You know, the teacher gave a weenie roast for all the kids on account of school letting out for the summer.
Oh, I see. And you just didn't feel up to downing a roasted rover, eh?
No. When I saw my final report card, I was so afraid to show it to my mom and papa, I guess I just kind of lost my appetite, I guess.
Well, that's silly to lose your appetite over a little thing like that. Your parents will see your report card sooner or later anyway.
Oh, no, they won't.
Oh, yes, they will.
Oh, no, they won't.
Oh, well, why won't they?
'Cause I ate it.
Ooh.
is the Wistful Vista Photo Studio, dearie?
Corner of 14th and Oak. We'll be there in a minute.
I wonder if we should have called up and made an appointment.
You know what we'd have got if we had, don't you?
What?
Mert.
Well, I just thought...
Oh, hello there, kids. Where are you going?
Oh, we're going to the photograph studio, Mr. Oldtimer.
What for? Gonna get your pictures took?
What do you think we're going there for, you old dodo? Take a rumba lesson?
Oh, don't say rumba to me, Johnny. I'm just smack dab wore out from it. Danced till 4 o'clock this morning.
Heavenly days, 4 o'clock. When did you start?
About 2, daughter. And I was tired when I started because I'd been bowling all evening.
Bowling all evening? Well, that's a pretty strenuous schedule for a guy your age, old-timer.
Oh, it wouldn't have been so bad, Johnny, but on top of the 36 holes of golf yesterday afternoon...
What? Dear, oh dear, 2 rounds of golf, then bowling till 2 a.m. and dancing till 4? Why, aren't you overdoing it a little?
Might be at that, daughter. I guess I'm slipping. I'd even have to give up running 5 miles before breakfast.
Hey, now, wait a minute. You mean to tell us, old-timer, that you run 5 miles every day before breakfast?
Rainy days, Johnny.
Oh.
Nice days, I go 10.
Oh.
Kind of tones me up. But I don't know, last few days I've been getting kind of droopy. Don't seem to have any pep. Just sort of, oh, sweet Jiminy.
What's the matter?
Just remembered. Sorry, kids, you'll have to excuse me.
Huh?
I'm in a handball tournament down the athletic club. I'll see you later.
Well, he's certainly got a lot of pep for his age, hasn't he, McGee?
For his age, he's got a lot of pep for my age.
Yeah, but he can't keep up that pace. Why, he'll burn himself out before he's 110. Come on, dearie, here's the studio.
How do you do? Did you wish to make an appointment?
No, we don't, sis. We come in to get some pictures taken.
But you didn't have an appointment?
No, we didn't.
Have we got to have an appointment?
Yes, you do.
Can we make one right now?
For what time?
Right now.
Certainly. Just sit down and we'll take care of you in just a few moments. May I ask your name, please?
Fibber McGee, sis.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I suppose you brought your daughter in for a graduation photo?
Thank you, dearie. Just for that, I'll take an extra dozen.
They usually do.
Well, what we came in here for, sis?
Nay, what an ordeal. Please send me proofs as soon as possible, my dear. These pictures are for the society section.
Oh, certainly, Mrs. Uppington. Which one do you think you'll like?
I think I prefer the one showing me cantering through the park on my favorite horse. And oh, my, how do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy.
So you've been mugged for the society section, have you, dearie? And what's this about your favorite horse?
Oh, just background, my dear.
Oh,
One's public demands a certain stage setting for we society folk, you know.
I'd like to take a gander at you cantering through the park, Uppy, with or without a horse. I'll bet you're the cream of the riding crop.
Say, didn't I see your picture in a magazine giving a testimonial for Kurtelmeyer's ketchup, Abigail?
Possibly you did, my dear. I do a great deal of that sort of thing in my position, you know. The proceeds go to charity.
Oh, that's very sweet, Uppy. You ever go in for billboards?
Yes. Yes, but I gave that up, Mr. McGee.
Oh.
The passers-by were quite disrespectful, and I don't look well in a mustache. Are you here to sit for a portrait?
Yes, we are, Abigail, and I hope we get some good ones.
Oh, I think you'll find this firm does excellent work, my dear. They've taken some very glamorous portraits of me.
Well, Mrs. Uppington, if they could take glamorous...
McGee! Don't say it.
Don't say what?
What we were both thinking.
Okay, I won't, but I'm telling you, it was a nifty. You want one of our pictures when we get them, Uppy?
Oh, I would dearly love to have another one of you. Thank thank you. I still have one of Mrs. McGee.
Oh, didn't you have one of McGee, too?
Oh, yes, a life-size head.
Oh.
But last fall, my little nephew saw it on the piano and insisted on having it.
Oh, he did, eh? Well, hero worship, you know, Uppy. There's something about an older, dignified man that kids instinct.
Oh, no. It wasn't that, Mr. McGee.
It wasn't?
No, he cut the eyes out of it and was using it as a Halloween mask. Good night.
Hero worship, is it?
Oh, well, shucks. I remember her, nephew. A born gangster, if I ever saw one. Why, personally, I think that...
Okay, Ernie. I'll come back and try it again next week.
Hi, Harlow.
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
Hello, folks.
What's the matter with you, Harlow?
I'm unhappy. I came in here to have my picture taken, and what happened? I can't get rid of this smile.
Well, can't you even sober up for a minute?
No, I can't. I'm so darn happy about the popularity of Johnson's Wax and how it's saving hours of housework and making homes beautiful and charming that I just can't help smiling.
Well, I'll wipe that smile off your face, my friend. Just think of the years of monthly payments you'll have on that new house of yours.
Yeah. How about all that new furniture?
Gotta pay for it, yeah.
That's one thing that makes me so happy. Think of the fun I'll have Johnson waxing it. Oh, boy. Well, I'll see you later, folks. Maybe next week I won't be so happy.
Poor Mr. Wilcox. He takes his work so to heart.
Well, he's got to. His heart's in his job, and his job's in Racine, so how long we got to wait to have our pictures taken, sis?
It won't be long now, Mr. McGee. But this is our busy season, you know.
Oh.
Graduation time, weddings, vacation. You better comb your hair. It's a mess.
Here, McGee, take this comb and brush up a bit.
Well, let's see if I... Oh, hi, Throckmorton, old man. What are you
Well,
doing
hello, McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee. I'll be with you in a moment. I say, Miss Jones, are my movie films ready yet?
I'll take a look, Mr. Gildersleeve. They should be.
Yeah, thank you. Well, what are you doing here, folks?
We're going to have our pictures taken, Mr. Gildersleeve.
My goodness, why didn't you tell me? I'd have done it for nothing. I'm quite a photographer, you know. I've had some of my work in the best exhibitions all over the state.
Yeah. I've seen some of your work, and I know all about it.
Yep.
If one of your pictures turns out so dark it don't make sense, you develop it kind of fuzzy and call it Nocturne or Moonlight over Lake Winnemucca or something.
Now, I've seen some of your work, Mr. Gildersleeve, and I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
McGee is just jealous.
Jealous my left hind foot. Gildersleeve's the kind of a photographer who takes pictures of a girl and a bulldog and calls it Beauty and the Beast. He ain't had an original thought since he was 3 years old and crawled behind the Victrola looking for Mary Garden.
No, look here, you little prevaricator. I won't...
Hold it, Gildersleeve, hold it. Well, what did you call me?
A prevaricator.
Oh, you did. Well, you call... Hey, Molly, what's a prevaricator?
A liar.
Oh, that. Okay, what were you about to say, Gildersleeve?
I was about to say that if you don't stop this eternal disparaging, these derogatory comments of yours, by George, one of these days, I'm going to wade into you.
Go on, you wouldn't wade into the kitchen sink without a lifeguard sitting on the soap dish.
Why, you repulsive little reprobate. One more insult from you, and I'll pin your ears back with a couple of your own teeth.
Why, you overgrown puffball, you. You lay a hangnail on me, and I'll whip you unconscious with a shoestring.
That did it. Put up your hands, McGee, and we'll have this out right here now.
Oh, now, just a minute, boys. This is no place.
Let him start something, Molly.
What?
Meantime, call the hospital and reserve him twin beds, because I'm going to tear him in two.
You're going to tear two in who? I mean you're going to tear who in two, you little...
Here are your films, Mr. Gildersleeve.
What? Oh, thank you very much. My goodness, I hope these come out good. Drop in tonight, folks, and I'll run them off for you.
Oh, okay, Gildy. What time?
How's 8 o'clock?
Fine, we'll be there.
Splendid. Good day, Mrs. McGee. So long, little chum.
So long, Ducky.
The King's Men sing the Chul Song. but not from Faust.
On a path in the park in old New York, a boy and the girl were taking a walk. They pledged their love in double talk. They were really cooing it. Now they got me doing it. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pooka-diddle-la-boo. So real. Chip-oo, chip-oo, chip-oo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pooka-diddle-la-boo. So real. The tune is teasy, so cool and breezy. Just take it easy. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see silly by the wheel, pooka-diddle-la-boo. So real. I met with a gal and her name was Vasily. Sight of her, sight Vasily, won't you be less chilly? You should have seen the change come over that filly. Pooka-diddle-la-boo, so real. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Every time I see Vasily by the wheel, pooka-diddle-la-boo, so real. Now slice it thick or slice it thin. It ain't where you're going, it's where you've been. This is just where I came in. Pooka-diddle-la-boo, so real. No rhyme, no reason, but kind of pleasing. Always in season. Choo, choo, choo-la-roo. Choo-la, chag-a-rack, choo-la-barbecue. Last time I saw Silly by the wheel, pooka-diddle is a riddle with a fiddle in the middle. Took a diller in a bag of feather hay. Sure, sure, sure. How silly it makes you feel. Pooka-diddle-la-boo, so real. So real. So real. Never get a better with a diller in a bag of feather hay.
Hey, sis, how long we got to wait to have our pictures taken? We've been standing.
Yeah, we've been sitting here over a half an hour, dearie.
The photographer will take you next, I think. He's just finishing with his last sitting. Yes, there's the last customer before you. Is everything all right, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, yes. Thank you very much, miss. I think everything will be just dandy.
Hi, Wimple.
Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Well, my goodness. Hello there.
You had your picture taken, Wimple?
Yes, I did. And now I can hardly wait to get home. Things are so happy there.
Oh, that's fine. You and your wife must be getting along better these days.
Oh, just peachy, Mr. McGee.
That's fine.
She's out of town.
Oh, is she having a pleasant vacation?
I don't know, but I am.
Look, Wimple, I'm not one to butt into a guy's married life, but if you're so miserable, why don't you threaten to walk out on her?
Oh, I did, Mr. McGee. It was last winter. I walked right up to her and said, Mrs. Wimple, I said, standing on my tiptoes and looking her right in the eye. Mrs. Wimple, I said, I think I'm going to run away.
Oh. And what happened?
Well, nothing more was said about it for 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh.
Why not?
I couldn't get the adhesive tape off of my mouth.
Poor Mr. Wimple. You know, I sometimes think he enjoys his misery.
Sure he does. He dramatizes himself. And a worse piece of playwriting I never did see.
Mr. McGee, you and Mrs. McGee may go in the studio now.
Oh,
right in there.
Right, thank you, dearie. Come on, dearie.
Oh, boy. Oh, look at the equipment. Huh. This guy's got enough flood lamps to make us look as bright as the sunshine on the wings of the doves flying over the blue lakes of Killarney.
But it isn't complete.
Why not?
Well, there's no papier-mâché automobile to sit in. Or a big crescent moon.
Hey, where's the photographer? Hey, is anybody here?
Oh, you folks looking for somebody?
Yes, we're looking for you.
For me?
Yeah, we've been stalled long enough, Bud. Now get busy and take our pictures. Something pretty nice.
Oh, certainly. Something pretty nice, eh?
Yes.
I suppose you'd like a $20 job?
Heavenly days, $20. I could be painted in oil for $5 more.
I'd let them boil me in oil for $5 less. $20, is that the cheapest job you got, Bud?
No, we have a $15 special, and that's only $7.50 apiece, you know. It must be paid in advance. Otherwise, there's a slight carrying charge.
Well, all right. The best is none too good for us. Pay him, dearie.
What do you mean, pay him? Since when do we have to pay in advance to get our pictures taken?
Well, of course, if you prefer the $20 portrait, sir.
Here's $15. I'll make it snappy.
Certainly. Now, if you'll just sit on that bench there, face a little more this way, please. Oh, dear. That was clumsy of me.
You don't seem to know your way around your own studio, mister.
That sneering expression won't photograph well, madam. Smile, please. That's better. Now, wait till I arrange these lights a little. I have this...
Hey, quit shining them lights right in my eyes. I can't see a thing.
You're not supposed to see anything, sir. I'm the one who's taking the picture.
Oh.
Now, just relax and smile.
Like this?
Oh, that's marvelous, madam. Now, when I say go, I want you to hold perfectly still. This is a time exposure, you know. Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Go.
Wish you'd hurry up. I want to sneeze.
I'm uncomfortable, too. I'm sitting on my purse.
Must be awful slow filming, Judy.
This is the longest double feature I ever sat through.
I can't hold it any longer, Molly. Hey, Bud, how much longer are you going to... Hey, you, photographer! Hey!
That's funny. You-ho, Mr. Photographer.
Hey, well, this is a fine state of how do you do. A fine way to run a studio. Hey, Bud, what's the idea?
Well. So you are Mr. and Mrs. McGee. I'm Mr. Backrack, the photographer.
Well, how do you do, I'm sure.
Well, hi, Bud. You better tell your assistant that it ain't very polite to get a customer all set for a time exposure and then run out to lunch or something.
My assistant? Why, I have no assistant. I do my own work. Now, let me see. I think I'll pose you two against that drapery over there, if you don't mind.
Now, wait a minute. If you don't have any assistant, who just took our picture?
Well, I wouldn't know, madam. Who did?
Hey, what is this, a gag? Look, Bud, when we pay our $15 of our good money to have a picture taken, we expect...
$15?
Yes.
Why, my fee's only $7.50, Mr. McGee.
Well, then why did your assistant collect $15 in advance?
I tell you, I have no assistant, and we never collect in advance. I haven't the slightest idea what you're...
Oh, Mr. Backrack.
Oh, yes, Miss Jones?
That man who has been pestering us for that $15 electric light bill.
Yes?
He just poked his head in and said to never mind it.
Oh, thank you very much. And now then, about this portrait, Mr. McGee, how would you like to be taken?
You hear that, Molly?
Yes. How would we like to be taken, he says.
How would we like to be taken? I'll show you how we'd like to be taken, Si. That's how we'd like to be taken. Bucks in advance,
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment. In the meantime, I'd like to say a few words about that automobile of yours. Most of you have heard me sing the praises many times of good old Johnson's self-polishing glow coat, how it keeps floors so beautiful with so little work. What I'd like to point out to you tonight is that Johnson's Car New will do the same thing for your automobile. Keep it beautiful, greatly increase your pleasure in riding in it, add to its trade-in value. Do all these things besides saving you work. Car New is a labor saver because it both cleans and wax polishes your car in one application. Two jobs at the same time. Car New is a liquid. You massage it lightly over the finish of your car. It dries to a white powder. And when you wipe off this powder, you'll get one of the surprises of your life. Car New does a miraculous job of reviving the beauty of your car's finish. Car New costs very little. And now that the job is comparatively easy, why not decide to clean and wax polish your car with Johnson's Car New, spelled C-A-R-N-U.
Ladies and gentlemen, with vacation sneaking up on us in a couple of weeks, we think we ought to have you meet some of the people who have done such a swell job with us all this time.
That's a swell idea, McGee.
First, we want you to meet a young man who's been with us ever since we started. He plays the part of the old-timer, Nick DePoplis, and many others, including his latest character, Wallace Wimple. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Thompson. Bill? And next, a lady with a background of numerous Broadway shows and network broadcasts, who plays the part of Mrs. Abigail Uppington. Isabel Randolph. Lizzie? Last but not least, our next-door neighbor and little chum's big chum, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, played by Harold Perry.
Thanks, little chum.
How about me, mister? You left me out. I'm really symbolical of this program, I betcha.
What you mean, sis?
We're both from Hungary.
Oh, sure. Good night.
Good night,
Or good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and for industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. More classic old-time radio coming your way next.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. Fibber and Molly dedicate this program to Billy Mills, who tonight opens his 10,000th broadcast with Let's Break the Ice. You know, it's a strange thing to me how long it has taken most of us to realize the beauty of a fine wood surface. It isn't very long ago since it was the style to have tablecloths or runners and doilies all over the dining room table and the buffet, pieces of brocade or needlepoint or old shawls over the desk and occasional tables and piano. I may have the names all wrong, but you know what I mean. The whole room seemed cluttered up, and beautiful wood surfaces hung their heads in shame. But how refreshing it is now to walk into a home where the tabletops are richly polished, with Johnson's Wax, of course, to make beautiful settings for old china, glass, candlesticks, and flowers. You women know that these accessories add just as much to the finish of your home as costume accessories to your own appearance. Look around your living room and dining room and see if you've made the most of your tabletops and other wood surfaces. The first thing to do is to protect and beautify them with paste or liquid Johnson's Wax. The same wax that has been protecting floors and making housework easier for over 50 years. Breathes there a man with soul so dead who never to himself hath said, "Gee, I'd like to ride on a roller coaster"? But roller coasters aren't much fun unless you have a child along to knock you off your dignity. Which is why, halfway through a strenuous afternoon at the Wistful Vista Amusement Park, we meet the little girl from across the street with Fibber McGee and Molly.
Well, how we doing, sis? You having fun?
Sure I am, I betcha. Except I'm kind of hungry again.
Hungry? Okay, sis. It's my bankroll against your digestion, I guess. Here's a dime. Go buy some popcorn.
Gee, thanks, mister. Hey, Mr. Popcorn Man.
That kid is going to paper napkin herself into a stupor before the day's over, Molly.
Well, she needs a lot of fuel for all that energy. How many times did she make you ride on the roller coaster?
12. Personally, I was ready to quit after the 4th time around.
Well, why didn't you?
I couldn't stand up. If she hadn't wanted a hamburger, we'd have been on there yet. Oh, all right, sis, you get your popcorn?
Sure.
Okay, well, what do you want to do now?
Eat my popcorn.
Oh.
Well, what do you want to do when you finish that?
Have some root beer.
Hey, now, wait a minute, sis. Goodness knows I don't begrudge you a slug of ptomaine, but you're building this little outing into a colic frolic. Now, let the root beer go a little later.
All righty. Then let's have some ginger ale. Now.
Oh, sure. She's got an appetite like Aunt Sarah and a thirst like Uncle Dennis.
Oh, now, McGee, leave poor old Uncle Dennis alone. I'm only sorry he couldn't come with us today.
No, I asked him to, and he says he had to go down to the airplane factory.
The airplane factory?
Yeah, and he heard there was a bottleneck down there, and he wanted to look into it. Well, for the love of Mike, you finished that popcorn already, sis?
Sure I have, I betcha. But, gee, I wish I had something to wash it down with, though.
Oh, well, what would you suggest?
How about a banana?
No.
Say, let's have our pictures taken. Shall we?
Say, how about that, Molly? We need some pictures, remember?
Well, I don't think we want any out of a 10-cent automatic machine. The last ones I had taken in one of those, I looked like a Zulu princess trying to understand the Hut-Sut song.
No, that ain't so far-fetched. I think some Zulu wrote it. Well, come on, sis. Posterity might as well get something out of this.
See, you're a dandy to me, mister. You just do everything I want to do.
Yeah. Well, you remember that when the girl in the white cap bends over you with the castor oil, will you? Well, come on, Molly.
Can we all get into the booth at once?
Sure, we'll have a group picture taken. You can give one to your mother, sis, and show her what a good time you were having.
She'd think I was having a better time if I had a lollipop in my hand, I betcha.
You can get that later. Now, come on in. Pull the curtains, Molly.
All right.
There.
Now, you put a dime in that slot and turn the knob, dearie.
Okay, now all hunch up together first. You ready? Okay, here goes the deemer.
For a minute there, I thought you hit the jackpot. Well, what do we do now?
Just wait. The picture's being automatically developed. Wonderful machines, these.
My daddy's got a machine that you stand in front of, and it takes your picture free.
He has? What does he call it?
A camera.
Oh, cut it out, sis. You must think I'm done. Hey, what's the matter with this thing? Hey, where's our picture? Hey, there.
Oh, now, McGee.
Oh, let's get him out. Come on.
Oh, come on, dearie. It's worth a dime to me not to see it anyway.
No, sir. I ain't going to be swindled out of a dime by any tin-horn, tin-type tin can like this. If I can't either get my dime or a picture out of here, I'm going to kick the negatives out of it. Come on. Now, open up there. Come on. Ooh.
Oh, gee, look, a man fell out of it.
Say, what's the idea of busting open this tin-type machine like that, Sonny? Don't you realize... Oh, hello, Johnny. Hello, daughter.
Hey, what is this anyway? What are you doing inside that machine, old-timer?
Got a right to be inside of it, Johnny. I own it.
Well, I thought it was supposed to be automatic.
Well, 'tis, daughter. But it went out of order this morning, and I've been in there ever since.
What?
I grab the dime, snap your picture with my little Kodak, develop them quick, and shove them out through the slot. And now you busted up the whole works. Ain't you ashamed, Johnny?
Yeah, I guess I am, in a way. But what took you so long to develop our pictures?
I couldn't help it, Johnny. I peeked through the little slot there to get a focus on you.
Yeah?
You look so silly and self-conscious. I got to laughing. I got to laughing so hard, I couldn't do a darn thing.
Come on, Molly. Come on, sis. Well, let's see. What do we do now? Ride on the merry-go-round, shoot darts at the balloons?
I beg your pardon, sir. May I have a word with you?
What you want, Bud? Make it snappy.
I have a proposition I'd like to make, sir. If I could have a quiet word with you, I think...
Anything you want to tell me, Bud, you can say in front of my wife.
Oh, of course. This will interest her, too. Suppose we all drop over to my hotel where we can discuss the matter in...
Oh, no, you don't. Don't listen to him, McGee. He's going to get you in a poker game or something.
Oh, madam, please. It's nothing of the sort. I merely wanted...
Skip it, Bud, skip it. I wouldn't be interested anyway. Now, don't bother me with any fake propositions. I'm out for some fun today, and I don't...
But if you'll just give me a minute...
I wouldn't split a second with you, sharpshooter. Now, go on, beat it before I call a cop.
Very well. But you'll...
The nerve of some people.
What do you know? Well, what do we do now?
Well, how about taking one of those boats through the Tunnel of Love?
Through the Tunnel of Love? Oh, how about it, sis?
Tunnel of Love. Ish.
Oh, no. Don't sneer at love, sis.
No, sir, I should say not. You'll be falling in love yourself before many years, little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I will not, I bet you. I'm going to marry Willie Toops, and then I can ride his tricycle whenever I want to.
Has it occurred to you, sis, that by the time you get married, you might not be interested in tricycles anymore?
Gee, mister, you worry too much. Hey, can I have some peanuts?
May I have some peanuts?
Sure, get 2 bags, one for you.
Oh, sure.
Cupid doll. You're a wonderful pistol shooter.
Oh, shucks, there was nothing any red-blooded American boy couldn't have done.
Yes,
Thanks anyway,
it didn't
sis.
cost you more than $4.80 to win a plaster doll worth at least 20 cents.
Well, shucks, the wind was against me.
McGee, there's Billy Mills. Hello, Billy.
Oh, hi, William. Hello, folks. Hello, Snooky.
Hi, Butch.
What's cooking?
I don't know, but as soon as it's done, I want some, I betcha.
She's kind of a politician, Billy. Just appointed herself a hot dog catcher. Wow. Hey, what's this about your 10,000th broadcast, Billy? This is it, chum.
Really, Mr. Mills? 10,000 broadcasts. That's a mess of downbeats, isn't it?
You ain't faking, Mammy. Look, William Randolph, let's not kid the public, or ourselves either. To do 10,000 broadcasts, do you realize you'd have to broadcast once every day for 27 years?
Sure, and we've only had broadcasting for about, less than 20 years.
Yeah, so who's pulling whose leg? Look, little man.
Who said anything about one broadcast a day? I've been a staff leader and musical director in my day.
Oh, you mean before you went slumming and came with us, huh?
Yeah, and that meant I did as many as 12 shows a day. Add that up and you get about 4,000 a year.
You mean to stand there, William, with your head coming up through your hair? And tell us you've done 12 broadcasts a day?
Junior? I've seen the time when 12 shows a day would have been considered a layoff. Now, excuse me, please. I'm celebrating.
Gee, let's all celebrate. Let's all have a hot dog. Shall we?
No, sis, no. We'll let the maestro celebrate in his own way.
Incidentally, how are you celebrating, Mr. Mills?
Well, after 16 years of this business and 3 years with Fibber McGee and Molly, where would I celebrate? On the merry-go-round. See you later.
Your joke about those 10,000 broadcasts. Ah, there's a great guy, Billy. Well, now what, sis?
Well, you've been so good to me today, mister, buying me things and letting me ride on any of the rides I wanted to and all. And I appreciate it so much that if I had a box of Cracker Jack, I'd divide with you.
Now, just a minute, sis. I don't like to be an old sourpuss.
All right. Right this way, ladies and gentlemen, to see that ferocious foreigner, that terrific terror of the tropics, the wild man of Borneo. Only a dime, 10 cents, ladies and gentlemen, to see the man-mangling monster.
Oh, McGee, it's Mr. Wilcox.
When did he get a job as a barker?
As a what?
Barker.
I want a hot dog.
Be quiet, sis. Hey, Harlow.
Well, hello there, folks. Glad to see you. How about taking a gander at the wild man of Borneo? It's on the house.
Is he really wild, Mr. Wilcox?
Is he? Listen. Hey, Bonzo, we got company.
Why does he make that funny noise, Mr. Wilcox?
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Come on, let's go in and take a look. Take it easy.
Now, take it easy, folks. Don't get too close to the wild man. Get back, Bonzo. Get back.
What made him so wild, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, he was captured by a ship's captain who had old-fashioned ideas and positively refused to use Johnson's self-polishing glow coat on the linoleum. You see, the very mention of somebody who doesn't use Johnson's glow coat sends him into a frenzy. Take it easy, Bonzo. Take it easy. These people work for the makers of glow coat.
Harlow, I ain't one to spoil a good sales talk, but if this monkey was born in Borneo, how should he know about glow coat?
Why, what a question. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat is famous all over the world because it's the greatest beautifier and protector of linoleum and the best work saver and time saver that money can buy. Why, the Eskimos of Kamchatka whisper in their igloos about how easy it is to apply. And the Malays in Siberia brag about how it brings old linoleum back to life.
I'll bet you there aren't any Malays in Siberia, I bet you.
Ah, but they would go there, honey, for a can of Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. And that's what makes the wild man of Borneo wild, folks. He can't stand the thought of neglected linoleum. And that concludes the exhibit.
Just a minute, Harlow. There's one thing I think you ought to know.
What's that, Fibber?
If there's anything that makes me wild, it's to see a wild man of Borneo with a fur suit on with the zipper coming loose in the back.
Darn it, I keep telling him about that. Bonzo, you dope! Go fix your zipper!
Okay.
Well, come on, McGee. We still have a lot to do and see. Goodbye, Mr. Wilcox.
Hey, Mr. McGee, can I go on the roller coaster alone? Can I?
Can we let her go on the roller coaster alone, Molly?
Oh, I think so. They'll have an attendant ride on it with her.
Okay then, sis. Here's 4 bits. We'll meet you right here when you come back.
Gee, thanks, mister. I'm going on the roller coaster.
I beg your pardon, sir. I do hate to intrude on you again, but I feel that what I have to say is of so much importance.
Oh, it's you again, is it, Si?
He's been following us all around the park, McGee. I've been watching him.
But, madam, if you'll only permit me to explain, I'm sure that we can...
You only got one thing to explain, Bud, and that's why I don't pop you one right on your snozzola.
No. I'm sure there's no cause for all your antagonism.
What you mean, antagonism? I can see just as good as you can.
No. Hard feelings. Now, look, the reason I wish to speak to you is this.
Look, Bud, you better scram. I don't want any part of your racket. Is that plain?
But if you'll allow me,
You heard my husband. Now go away.
Very well, madam.
He's a persistent cuss, ain't he? Probably a con man. Probably wanted to sell me a half interest in Fort Knox.
You think he did, really? Let's call him back. Half interest in Fort Knox ought to be a very good investment.
Oh, now, Molly, I know. Oh.
What's the matter?
Look, there's Mrs. Uppington coming out of the tunnel of love. Alone.
Heavenly days. What an... Yoo-hoo, Abigail.
Oh, how do you do, Miss McGee and Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy. We saw you coming out of the tunnel of love.
That, yeah. Yes, I frequently come over and take a ride through the tunnel of love. It brings back memories of an old flame of mine.
It's pretty damp surroundings for an old flame, Uppy.
Yes, I suppose I'm just being a silly girl, but Terence was the gentleman's name.
Okay.
Terence simply loved those dark winding passages, the murmur of the water, the unexpected turns and twists.
Was he a sailor, Uppy?
No, nothing like that. Terence, bless his heart, was a sewer contractor. I think I shall take one more ride before I go home. Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of his 10,000th broadcast, the King's Men will sing Billy Mills' new number, I'm in Love with the Sound Effects Man.
Oh, what would we do without the sound effects man, that radio racketeer?
Tune your dial and listen a while.
This is what you'll hear. There's a knock upon the door. That's the sound effects man. Here's a kiss and maybe more. That's the sound effects man. If you'd like a ring, he'll give you a ding, ding, ding. And even in the early morn, you'll hear him blowing his horn. Cowboys galloping fit to bust.
That's the sound effects man.
3 more redskins bite the dust.
That's the sound effects man.
He has such an awful lot to do, and yet he very seldom ever misses a cue. He's a 3-alarm fire and the fire chief too. There goes the sound effects man when the wind is howling.
That's the sound effects man.
Thunder goes a-growling.
That's the sound effects man.
When the battle is raging, he's right in the middle of the fray. When he blows his whistle, crime doesn't pay. Then his old Maxwell chugging right along. That's the sound effects man. When Kate Kaiser gets the answer all wrong. Students!
That's the sound effects man.
Hear those footsteps making a lot of muddy tracks. Dirty boots will never hurt the kitchen floor if it's covered with Johnson's wax. Tailspin Tommy in his aeroplane. That's the sound effects man. When McGee breaks a window pane. That's the sound effects man. He has gadgets by the score, from a peanut whistle to a cannon's roar. When Fibber runs to open that closet door, look out!
Gotta straighten out that closet one of these days.
That's Virgil Reimer, the sound effects man.
But McGee, we simply got to find her. Did you ask the man in charge of the roller coaster?
4 times. She used up all her tickets and walked away. I've been all around the Dad Ratted Park looking for her.
Oh, maybe we better notify the police or the lost and found or
Gotta
something.
do something. Poor little tyke must be terrified, lost in all this big crowd.
Oh, dear. We should never have let her go out of our sight. I'm the one. I should have known.
Well, what's all the trouble, folks?
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
We lost a little girl, Gildy, the kid from across the street. She was riding on the roller coaster, and now we can't find her.
You let her ride on the roller coaster all alone?
Well, I have attendants to take care of the children.
Yeah, she was all right.
Is that so? All right, eh? She's missing, isn't she?
Well,
why didn't you stay where you could keep an eye on her? You're a fine one to be trusted with a little child.
now you cut that out, Gildersleeve. I feel bad enough about this without having any nasty insinuations from you.
I should say so. Listen, I'll go back to the merry-go-round, McGee, and I'll take another look for her.
Okay, try all the hamburger stands, too. She may be mooching a handout.
I must say you take this pretty lightly, McGee. By George, if I were responsible for losing a little child...
Anybody that lost you when you were a little child should ought to get a Carnegie Medal. You big blowhard.
Oh! Now, look here, McGee. Just because you were written up in Look magazine this week, you can't take that tone with me. I'll have none of your impudence.
Go on, have some. I got plenty.
Why, you little bug brain, I've got a good notion to slap some of that freshness out of you.
Go ahead, try it. You'll find it ain't such a good notion after all. Because you know what I'd do, Gildersleeve?
No, what would you do?
Well, for one thing, I'd stand right here and give you a dirty look. If you didn't have one already. And then when I got...
I won't take that from you, McGee. I'm warning you.
Oh, so now he thinks he's one of the Warner brothers. You got delusions of grandeur, Gildersleeve.
That's enough. I'm going to split you wide open, McGee. You're so full of cracks now, you won't mind another one anyway.
Yeah, you move an inch my way, Gildersleeve.
Why,
Slug him, Mr. McGee. Slug him.
You bet I'll slug him. I'll say... Hey, who said that?
I did, I bet.
Oh, my goodness. There she is now, little chum.
Hey, where you been, sis? You had us all worried.
Gee, you had me worried, too, mister. I thought Mr. Gildersleeve was going to hit you before you hit him.
That's an excellent idea. Now, don't you worry your pretty little head about us, my dear.
No, we were just kind of upset about you, sis.
Why, certainly. Well, glad you got her back all right, little chum. I'll see you later.
Okay, Gildy. So long, pal. Hey, Molly, here she is.
Oh, thank goodness. Say, where did you go to, little girl?
Where have you been?
Well, you gave me 50 cents for the roller coaster, so I took 4 rides, and then I went and got another hot dog.
Another hot dog? Hey, now, wait a minute, sis. If you don't quit eating all that junk,
I beg your pardon, sir.
Oh, dear, it's you again. Call a cop, dearie.
Look, Bud, I've told you twice that I don't want any of whatever you're selling. All we want from you is a large slice of your absence. Now, beat it before I...
I regret very much having made a nuisance of myself, sir, but I've been watching you two. I've seen you having fun on the roller coaster. I've seen you exasperated in the photograph booth, worried and frantic when the child was lost, angry when you were arguing with that portly man. In short, sir, I've seen you under all sorts of emotional conditions.
Well, that's very interesting, but
We
now...
have been searching all over the country for a couple whom we could present in pictures as Mr. and Mrs. America.
Yeah, well, that's all... Huh? You mean... Who's been searching? Who are you?
I represent RKO Radio Pictures, sir, and we would like to sign you to a contract to make a motion picture with Edgar Bergen and Charlie McCarthy called Look Who's Laughing.
Well, heavenly days.
Oh, boy.
Imagine.
Oh, can you imagine that, Molly? Why, we'd be in the movies.
Sure.
Think of us out there in Hollywood, Molly.
Oh, my.
Mixing with Irene Dunn, Cary Grant, Lucille Ball, and all the stars playing them big roles.
Those big what, mister?
Big roles.
I'm hungry.
Fibber and Molly will be back in just a moment. You know, I hear a good many women say that during the summer they don't like to spend any more time than necessary in the kitchen. In spite of the fact that I really enjoy my meals, I can subscribe to that idea. In fact, I don't think a woman should ever spend more time than necessary working in the kitchen. For example, she ought to avail herself of all the shortcuts possible, not go on doing things the hard way when an easy way is available. Yes, I'm getting around to floors and to Johnson's self-polishing glow coat. The no-rubbing, no-buffing polish that makes it so easy to have beautiful, sparkling floors with practically no work. You simply apply Glow Coat and let it dry. It polishes itself. And not only saves you work, but saves your linoleum, too. Protects it against scratches and wear. Makes it last much longer. You can use Johnson's Glow Coat on all your floors, painted and varnished wood, rubber, and asphalt tile. Be sure to add Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat to your next shopping list.
Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to Billy Mills and his orchestra, the musical portion of our program also boasts of the King's Men. We think they're just about the finest singing aggregation on the air. They are John Dodson, Bud Lynn, Rad Robinson, and Ken Darby.
Yes, and Ken also makes the arrangements and plays the accompaniment.
The King's Men, ladies and gentlemen. The part of Harlow Wilcox on this show is played by a young man who really makes his commercial announcements a pleasure to listen to. He's been with us for 7 years, and his real name is Harlow Wilcox. Harlow? Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and for industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Our next broadcast is a science fiction drama series that was broadcast from April 24th, 1955 to January 9th, 1958 in various time slots on NBC. Known for its high production values and adapting stories from the leading American authors of the era, it has been described as one of the finest offerings of American radio drama and one of the best science fiction series in any form and medium. We present to you X-1 on HOJO Radio.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight's story, The Castaways by Ernest Kinoy. In the South Pacific, night comes on rapidly. The sun dips below the flat horizon, the sea is crimson for a moment, and then night falls. But on Tahani Atoll, giant arc lights turn night into day. Across the waters of the lagoon, within the barrier reef, launches and tugs skitter back and forth, while on the curving half-moon of the island, army trucks and jeeps scuttle down the rough roads bulldozed by the Seabees just 6 weeks ago. A low Quonset hut stands near the beach, surrounded by tangled wire. This is the preliminary command post, and inside is General Frank Gaydosh, field director of the test. Operation Destruction.
Everything's on schedule, General. Radiological surveys complete. Instruments placement checked.
Well, get me Navy and tell them HR is as ordered. Send a periodic time check to Air Force on 90-week talk and observation control on the Missouri.
Yes, sir.
I want a complete roster check on all personnel before HR.
Yes, sir. Oh, Nate Cohen wants to see you.
Well, who the devil's he?
AP man. He's been selected by the press radio pool to interview.
I haven't got any time. Tell him to speak to Major Dwight Vredenberg. He's the PRO.
I think perhaps you'd better see him, sir. The directive on public relations from Washington was very clear.
Well, how in blazes am I supposed to run a bomb test and play mother hen to a bunch of reporters?
Washington said...
All right. Bring him in. Borelli?
Yes, sir.
Give me some black coffee, will you?
Yes, sir. This is Mr. Cohen, General Gaydar.
How do you do, General?
Lousy, as a matter of fact.
Is that an official statement?
No. You can run some of that "the world is at the crossroads" baloney.
I wrote that yesterday. General, what effect do you think the new bomb will have on the world situation?
I can't tell you that, even if I knew. My job is to set the blasted thing off and see that nobody gets hurt, and collect the data.
Can I speak to you a moment, sir?
Later, Alan. Go ahead, Cohen.
Can you release anything on the scientific principles involved?
I don't even understand them myself. Wait a minute. Dr. Muller?
Yes?
Come over here a minute, will you? Cohen, this is Dr. Fred Muller, Civilian Scientific Director. He's the only one who knows what's inside that warhead.
How do you do, Mr. Cohen?
How about a statement, Doctor?
Oh, I'm afraid all I'm allowed to say is that the bomb is new, it's extremely powerful, and off the record, it's very tricky and dangerous.
What'll happen if it goes off prematurely?
I don't think we have to worry about that. In fact, we wouldn't even know about it. If you'll excuse me now.
How about the natives?
Well, what about them?
Aren't they going to be evacuated from the island?
They already have been.
General Gaydosh.
Well, I saw the Tahani chief outside when I came in. The whole tribe squatting down at the motor pool having a conference.
What? Alan?
I've been trying to tell you, sir. The Tahani are still on the island.
Well, why? The LCTs are ready, aren't they?
Yes, sir, but they won't go. They refuse.
The schedule called for their evacuation to Mailani 3 hours ago.
I realize that, sir, but I hoped we could still get them off without violence.
Look, Alan, they're either on the island or off. Now, wait a minute. Cohen, that's all.
What are you going to do about the natives, General?
Never mind. I'll issue a statement later.
You going to force them?
Go on. Get out. I haven't got time.
All right, General. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right, Alan. Let's have it.
Well, sir, the Tahani been kicking up all along. They won't leave.
They won't. Do they know what's going to happen to the island? Do they know that we're going to blow it higher than a kite?
I told the chief. He just said they won't go.
They'll go, all right, if I have to... Yeah, hey, get him in here.
The chief?
Yeah, and that lieutenant who interprets.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that, Dr. Muller? I haven't got enough trouble.
You know, I feel rather sorry for the Tahani. Can't make much sense to them. We arrive and tell them they've got to get out.
Look, I appreciate your finer feelings, Muller, but I can't let the Kanakas hold up the bomb test.
They're not Kanakas, General. Captain Cook discovered the island in 1788.
Well, what's the difference?
Lieutenant Gilbert reporting, sir.
Aloha, Hey, look, I haven't got time for ceremony, Gilbert. Tell the chief he and his tribe have got to get off the island. We're providing homes for them on Mailani.
Translate,
Gilbert.
The chief says you do not understand. Mailani is a bad island. My people have lived on Tahani from the time that our ancestors were cast away on the island. The spirits of our ancestors are buried in the earth. Our fathers are buried here. Our fathers' fathers.
If he thinks I'm going to move his graveyard, he's crazy.
In our ancestors' time, the Tahani came in a great bird canoe. We were cast away on this island. We have made it our home. What right have you now to carry us over the sea to a strange land where we would die weeping for our homes? We will not go.
By the waters of Babylon, there we sat down and we wept when we remembered Zion.
Well, thank you, Dr. Muller. You're a great help. Say, Gilbert.
Yes, sir.
Tell him I have no choice. He's got till midnight to get his tribe on board those LCTs peacefully, or I'll have the Marine Detachment carry him aboard.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that rather harsh, General? After all, justice is on their side. We're preparing to blow up their island, and we haven't asked them about it.
Dr. Muller, will you kindly confine yourself to the scientific aspects of this operation? I'll take care of administrative matters.
If you could explain to them what's at stake here.
Any further explaining I've got to do, I'll do with the Marine detachments. I'm not going to hold up my schedule. Well, Gilbert?
I told him, sir.
All right, get him out of here. I've had enough.
No, koala.
What the devil's that?
Some kind of a curse, sir. I can catch some of it. The island will remember the tears of its children and punish the invaders. The great destroyers will not destroy. And the evil man, who is the chief, will travel far through the blackness of night. Even as the children of the island end, so will he.
All right, Gilbert, take him away.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Allen, get a detail from the Marine Detachment with tear gas and small arms down to the motor pool. And in 1 hour, have those natives on that transport, and I don't care how they do it. Is that my coffee, Varelli?
Yes, sir. They must know about the bomb. The great destroyer will not destroy.
You worried about that curse?
I should think you might be. He threatened you personally. If I were you, I'd carry a pistol till they got off the island. The chief looked as if he'd cheerfully strangle you with his bare hands.
I'm supposed to end the way they do, What's that?
Probably the Tahani saying goodbye to their island. I think I'll go down to the motor pool.
Well, stay out of the way. And get back here in an hour. You've got to have this wrapped up and headquarters moved out to the Missouri by dawn.
Instrument room checking in, sir.
That's the last. Have the Missouri take over control and send for my jeep.
Yes, sir.
Are the LCTs standing by for those natives?
Yes, sir. They're on the beach.
The bomb unit is assembled in place, General.
2330, right on the nose. Robin, start evacuation procedure.
The Tahani have stopped.
Allen's probably moving them out to the beach. Check in with Navy and Air Force, Borelli.
Yes, sir.
What's that?
Coming from the beach.
The Tahani making trouble. Come on.
General!
Hey, Gilbert, what is it?
Colonel Allen ordered the Marines.
Well, what happened?
The natives just got up and started marching.
Did they embark?
You don't understand, sir. They marched up the cliff and right off into the lagoon.
What?
All of them, the women and the kids, too. They didn't even try to swim.
Well, what were you doing all this time, just standing around with your thumb in your mouth? Where was the Marine detachment?
We couldn't stop them, sir. They just walked over the cliff. They didn't even scream, not even the kids. We sent the crash boats out, but we couldn't get them, any of them.
The crazy idiots. Were there any reporters there?
Well, Cohen and a life photographer.
Well, get his film and hold it till I release it.
What are you going to do, General? Postpone H hour?
It's too late for that now. And calling H hour off isn't going to bring the natives back.
But 100 men, women, and children just walking into the water. It's horrible.
I know. I'm not happy about it either. There's nothing we can do now. I gave him a chance to get off.
I was just thinking about the curse the chief put on you. Even as the children of the island end, so will he. That's what he said to you, General.
I know, I heard him.
Your jeep's waiting, General.
The great destroyer will not destroy. That must mean the bomb.
Don't worry, Dr. Muller. It'll take more than a mumbo-jumbo curse from a native witch doctor to stop this operation. At H hour, that bomb goes off.
It is now H hour minus 1 minute 30 seconds. H minus 1:30.
Video screen's hooked in, sir.
All right, check control stations.
Observation Station 1.
Observation Station 1, check.
Radiation Station.
Radiation control, check.
Test the firing
Observation
circuit,
Station
Dr.
2.
Muller.
Right, General.
Damage control station.
Damage control, check.
All set.
Communications.
Communications, check.
All checked in, sir.
It is H minus 1 minute. H minus 1.
Take a good look at that island on that screen, Dr. Muller. When you throw that key, it just won't be there anymore. Nothing but an atom mushroom over the lagoon.
Quite a funeral pyre for the Tahani.
Stubborn idiots. They can't get in the way of progress.
Progress? I wonder if it is, General.
It is H minus 30 seconds. H hour minus 29, 28, 27, 26.
The Great Destroyer. That's what he called the bomb.
Hold it, Muller. Allen, report.
All checked in, sir. Cameras running.
Sound fire warning. Stand by for firing. Ready, Muller?
Ready.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire!
General, it didn't go off. The bomb didn't go off.
Borelli, signal standby. Condition red.
Yes, sir.
Allen, check readings. Muller, what's wrong? What happened?
I don't know. The bomb didn't go off.
Well, what do you mean? Why didn't it?
I don't know, except for one thing. The Tahani chief said the Great Destroyer would not destroy. It didn't, General. The bomb didn't go off.
How about it, General? What happened? Have you got a statement?
Nothing you can use, Cohen. Not till we find out what went wrong. Hey, who let you come aboard this ship?
I walked on. You don't know why the bomb failed?
It didn't fail. It just didn't go off.
What's that tank thing on the deck, General?
Undersea salvage unit, Mark IV. They call it a bottom crawler.
Somebody going down?
Well, that bomb is down there in the lagoon somewhere. Could go off at any second. Somebody's got to go down and find it and disarm it.
That's a lovely job. Who's elected?
I am.
Wow.
And Dr. Muller. He's the only one who knows how to dismantle it.
All is ready, General.
All right. Come on, Muller.
I'm ready.
Allen, as soon as we hit shallow water, get those gates open. We'll pull the crawler out. And then you get away in a hurry. If that bomb goes while we're working on it, I don't want any casualties.
Yes, sir.
Inside, Muller.
All right. I'm in.
Now, remember, get this LST out of the lagoon in a hurry. You got that, Allen? You take your orders from Admiral Yancey.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
Closing the hatch. The radar and Geiger counter warmed up, Muller.
I was just thinking of something, General. That curse, part of it came true. The bomb didn't go off.
Well?
The second part of that curse was that you would end where they ended. That was at the bottom of the lagoon.
What are you trying to do, Muller?
Nothing. I was just thinking this crawler is going to take us right down there where the Tahani died.
I'm not worried about a handful of dead natives, Muller. I'm worried about that bomb. Okay, they're opening the gate. Let's go. USU-4 to control. Depth 50 feet, bottom sandy, dropping off sharp. Anything on sonar, Muller?
School of fish.
You ever been down in a crawler before?
Only in the tank at New London. Think I've got a Geiger reading dead ahead. Hang on. Getting something on sonar now. Left to point.
USU-4 to control. Over. USU-4 to control. Over. That's a fine note. The radio's out.
Dead ahead. Looks too large to be the bomb.
Can't see much on the forward vision plate. Hey, wait a minute. That's part of the reef ahead.
That's where the Geiger reading indicated. The bomb must have settled in a hole in the reef.
We'll have to go after it in diving suits. The suits are in the locker. Let's get this over with. The less time I spend down here waiting for that bomb to blow, the better I like it. Muller, is your helmet clamped tight? You getting me all right on your headset?
Okay.
I'm going to fill the lock.
Here goes the outer door. Let's go.
This isn't like that diving tank in New London.
Look out for that coral. It can cut you to ribbons.
There's a hole of some sort there.
Wait till I get the light up. See if you can get a Geiger reading out of that hole.
Just a... There. It's down there, all right.
Careful. I'll drop down first.
See anything down there?
Muller, get down here fast.
What is it? Find something?
The bottom of this hole, it's metal, and the sides.
But it's the coral reef.
Look, welded joints. These are hull plates of some kind. And
Look out, above us.
it's closing. Grab it.
Too late.
A metal hatch. It just slid over the top.
This is impossible. What's going on?
It's like an airlock.
The water's being pumped out. General, do you realize what this means?
I'm not sure. There's an inner door opening. Careful.
It's a passageway. What do we do now?
There isn't much we can do. We can take off our helmets, though. The dial shows good air. All right. Come on.
What is this? An undersea fort? What's it doing here? What does it mean?
Whatever it is, our bomb must be down here. Wait, there's someone there.
I can't see. There's a shadow. Who is it? Who's there?
Welcome, Dr. Muller. Welcome to our ship. We've been waiting for you.
General, it can't be. Do you see it? It's the Tahani chief.
How long has the bottom crawler been down, Borelli?
4 hours, sir. 2 since we lost contact.
I'll keep trying.
Yes, sir.
I've given him enough time. I'm going to send another crawler down.
What do you figure happened to him, Colonel?
Well, there are a lot of things. Hey, how did you get in here?
I walked in. When are you going to release this, Colonel? It's the biggest story since the election. Bomber dead and Dr. Muller and General Gaydash dead.
They're not dead. At least we don't know they are. As long as that bomb doesn't go off, there's still a chance. What
happened?
Bomb. Borelli, condition red. Gilbert, radiation control into action. Get the hot squad into Tahani Lagoon as soon as it's cleared. And get me a PT boat with radiation screen.
What is it, Colonel? What happened?
Bomb must have blown.
How about Muller and the General?
If they were down there in that lagoon, you guess. Now get out of my way. I'm busy.
Radiation reading 75 and steady.
Take her in as close to the beach as you can.
Steady as she goes.
Is there any danger of any more explosions?
No. When she goes, she goes.
Radiation 82.
That's still safe. Cohen, is that something on the beach?
Yeah. Looks like a body. Maybe you blew one of the Tahani back out of the lagoon.
No, it's moving. Gilbert, glasses.
Yes, sir.
It's a man, all right. Head into the beach.
Who is it, Colonel?
Can't tell. He's in a diving suit. It's either Muller or General Gaydash. Get his helmet off. Easy now.
Twist to the right.
There. It's Muller. Gilbert, help me get him out of this diving suit. We've got to get him to the medics.
No radiation burns, superficial bruises, mild shock. He'll be all right, Colonel.
Can he talk?
For a while.
Bomb go off.
It didn't.
He's still out of his head.
Quiet, Cohen. Go on, Dr. Muller. What did you find?
A ship. A giant metal ship there under the lagoon.
A submarine?
No. It was a spaceship.
Space?
Camouflaged right next to the reef. When we went inside, we found the Tahani chief and all the tribe. Alive.
What? They drowned in the lagoon. I saw them.
No, they didn't commit suicide as we thought. They just dived underwater into the rocket airlock.
Rocket? Airlocks? Now, look, Muller, I know you've suffered a shock, but...
But it's true.
It can't be. A spaceship built by Polynesian savages.
But they're not savages. They're the castaways. They're from another planet. Don't you understand? Their spaceship was wrecked here 400 years ago. They've been waiting ever since. for a chance to go home.
He's out of his mind. Better give him a sedative, Doctor.
No, wait a minute, Colonel. Remember their story about the great bird canoe? Maybe there's something to the legend.
Not a legend, it's true. They'd exhausted their fuel, came down out of space, couldn't find anything here on Earth to replace their fuel source until we developed atomic power.
Atomic power?
You mean they stole our bomb?
That's right. Fished it out of the lagoon, hauled it aboard.
Yes, but how could they convert it to atomic drive?
They made me dismantle it for them at the point of a gun. Then just before they blasted off, they let me go.
But what about the general?
Remember the Tahani curse?
I see. You mean they killed him?
You don't understand. I said I dismantled that bomb at the point of a gun. It was General Gaidash who was holding the gun. What? He was one of them, one of their spies, sent out to bring back the rocket fuel they needed. And the Tahani curse wasn't a curse at all. It said that when they left the island, so would he.
You mean he's with them now?
Yes. And after 400 years, the castaways are going home.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. Stay tuned.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents
X-1.
Tonight, the Ray Bradbury story entitled, And the Moon Be Still as Bright.
The first 3 expeditions for Mars left Earth in a mushroom of flame, arced through the atmosphere, and finally dwindled to tiny specks in the big eye of the Mount Palomar telescope, and then were lost to sight forever. The prearranged landing signals flashed back to Earth, and then the radios went dead. One after the other, ships had disappeared and were never heard from again. But still the rockets came. The 4th expedition emerged from the silent gulfs of space, angled down toward the floating red disk of Mars, down into an orbit as the order came to land. The last blast of the bow jets broke red against the blue desert sands, and the ship slid to a halt at the edge of a vast city that reflected the icy glare of the moonlight. For a while, all was still.
All right, Parkhill. Open the airlock.
Aye, sir.
Fresh air.
Hey, it's cold out here.
Who cares? We got here. I thought I'd never hit solid ground again.
Hey, how about a fire, Captain Wiley? It's freezing.
Later. We have work to do.
Oh, smell that air. Well, you could get drunk on it. Say, there's an idea. Why don't we break out a bottle and celebrate?
Biggs, there will be no drinking done until we're secured.
But we're landed, Captain.
3 other expeditions landed and disappeared within 24 hours. Now, we're not relaxing security till we find out what happened to them.
What do you mean, maybe Martians?
Fender, you're an archaeologist. How old would you say they are?
I can't tell till I study them more closely. It's a kind of engineering we couldn't duplicate on Earth.
Well, I'm not interested in the architecture now. I want to make sure there's nothing there that might be dangerous. Mr. Hathaway.
Yes, sir?
I want you and Spender to take a reconnaissance party into the city and find out what's there. We'll set up camp here. No man is to go more than 50 feet from this rocket. And there'll be no celebration till Hathaway and his party report back.
In the sea bottoms, the wind stirred along faint vapors, and from the mountains, great stone visages looked upon the silvery rocket and the small fire. The sky was black overhead, as the two racing moons threw knife-edged double shadows on the desert.
All right, come and get it. Ciao.
Hey, what do you got there, Jackie?
Soda smothered in cold chicken fat.
Good. I thought it was something I couldn't eat. Hey, Captain. Mr. Hathaway's back.
Oh, Captain Wilder.
Oh, yes, over here, Mr. Hathaway. Well?
Most of the city's dead. Spender says it's been dead a good many thousand years, but we found one part about a mile over
What
toward
about
the...
it?
People were living in it last week, sir.
People?
Martians.
Where are they now?
Dead. We found bodies, thousands of bodies. They hadn't been dead more than 10 days.
What did they die of?
You won't believe it.
What killed them?
Chickenpox.
Chickenpox?
Yes.
Where could they get chickenpox?
From Earth.
Oh, then the other rockets did get through.
Yes. I don't know what the Martians did to them, but I sure know what they did to the Martians. They gave them chickenpox and wiped them out. They just didn't have any resistance to an Earth disease.
Think of it, Captain. A race builds itself for 1,000,000 years, refines itself, does everything it can to give itself respect and beauty, and then it dies. Of what? It's like saying the Greeks died of mumps or the proud Roman Empire collapsed because of athlete's foot. We didn't even give them a decent excuse for dying. We just gave them chickenpox.
Spender, get hold of yourself.
You didn't see those bodies, Captain.
Yes, I know. It must have been a shock. You need a rest, a little relaxation. The Martians are dead. There's nothing you can do about that now.
Hey, you hear that? The Martians are all dead. Come on, let's break out a bottle and hoop it up. How about a case, eh?
Oh, good Lord. They have to do that now? Isn't there time later to throw old beer cans into the canals?
Spender, you're an idealist. They're not. All they know now is that they're safe. A little shouting won't hurt. You think too much.
I was safe on Mars. The first Earthmen on Mars. We gotta celebrate. Yahoo!
20 bottles were opened and drunk. The voices got louder. The earth laughs and shouts echoing across the empty Martian sands. Spender listened to the wind over his ears, cool and whispering. He felt the land getting cooler. The stars drew closer, very near. The air smelled clean and new. He looked at the cool ice of the white Martian buildings over there on the empty sea lands.
Oh, what a woman! Oh. Hey, what do we do with these empty bottles? Save them, stupid. There's a 2-cent deposit. Throw them away. Hey, wait. How about that building? 2 to 1 on a buck. I can heave one right through that window. You're on. All right, here goes. Hey, double or nothing on the next shot.
Put that bottle down, Biggs.
Who's there, Mr. Spender?
Stop smashing those windows.
What's the difference? The planet's ours now. I guess I can do anything with it I want.
Drop that bottle or I'll knock your teeth out.
Yeah? Just watch me.
I warned you, Big.
Hey, come on. What's going on here? Spender!
I hit him.
He's crazy, Captain. He just walked up and slugged me.
All right, Biggs. Spender, you come with me. Now, suppose you explain. What was the idea?
The noise, the drunken brawl.
Spender, the men are tired. This has been a long trip. And you have a different way of seeing things.
No, I'm seeing things, all right. I'm seeing how we'll ruin Mars. We'll rip it up and rip the skin off the way we've already ruined Earth.
Is that why you hit Biggs?
Yes. I couldn't stand the idea of them watching us make fools of ourselves.
Them?
The Martians.
They're dead. They're all dead.
But they know we're here. Doesn't an old thing always know when a new thing comes? We've come a long way to smash their windows and spit in their wine.
Well, maybe you're right. But I'm still going to fine you $50 for that fight. Now, come on, Spender. Suck in your chin. We'll go back there and play happy.
Now they moved out into the moonlight across the desert. They made their way into the dreaming, dead city. The light of the racing twin moons glinted on the barrel of a pistol, the long blade of a machete, the round, gurgling shape of a raised bottle. The wind blew in from the Dead Sea bottom and brushed through the silvery wire filigree of the towers. Strange music drifted down to the double-shadowed streets, a thin, haunted music that played as it had played through the uncounted years of time. Nobody moved. The moons held and froze them. The wind beat slowly around them.
People in the city! Biggs, I just want to make a little noise. What kind of a celebration is this, anyway?
Come on.
They built this city thousands of years ago. And now where are they? How did they die?
Who cares? They're dead. That's good enough for me.
Lord Byron. What? Lord Byron, a 19th century poet. He wrote a poem that fits this city. Might have been written by the last Martian poet. So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, though the moon be still as bright. For the sword outwears its sheath, and the soul outwears its breast. And the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself must rest. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
Without a word, the Earthmen stood in the center of the city. It was a clear night. There was not a sound except the music of the wind. At their feet lay a tiled court, worked into the shapes of ancient animals and images. They stood there, silvered by the double moons beneath the crystal towers of Mars. And then Biggs was sick, and the sour stench of liquor filled the cool air. The men of Earth had come to Mars. And Spender turned and walked away into the city, alone in the moonlight, never once stopping to look back. It was a morning that might have been a Monday, or a Tuesday, or any day on Mars. Biggs was on the canal rim, his feet hung down in the cool water, soaking, while he took the sun in his face.
Hey, what are you doing back here, Biggs? Didn't you go out with the search party?
Yeah. I come back. I got a blister.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean? Look, Cherokee, see that? Anyway, I had enough searching. 4 days hunting for that screwball Spender.
Didn't find him yet, huh?
Oh, good riddance. Oh, my feet. I'm going to soak them in the canal. If I was Wilder, I wouldn't worry about that nut Spender. Let him go. He's a crackpot anyway.
Oh, he's a little foggy upstairs, I guess. Hey, why don't you take your feet out of that canal, Biggs? I gotta make coffee out of that water.
Coffee? You call that stuff coffee? I had a motorcycle once that dripped grease that tasted better than that.
Wait a minute, Biggs. Hey, look over there.
Where?
By that bush. There's someone there.
Hey.
It's him. Hey, Spender!
Spender?
He's coming over.
Why'd he stay lost, that crazy jerk?
Hi, Spender. Long time no see.
Hello, Cherokee. I've been exploring some ruins.
Oh, you and them ruins. You're like a dog in a boneyard. What's the matter? Why don't you just say something? Where you been?
Up in the hills. What would you say if I told you I found a Martian?
Oh, yeah?
Where?
Never mind. Let me ask you a question. How would you feel if you were a Martian and people came to your land and started to tear it up?
Well, I know how I'd feel. I've got Cherokee blood in me. My grandfather told me a lot of things about the way they kicked the Indians around in the Oklahoma Territory. If there's any Martian around, I'm all for him.
How about you, Biggs?
They're dead. They're all dead. It's a good thing, too.
Well, I found a Martian. Up in a dead town in the hills. I've been reading their books, and they're easy to understand. And I've learned their language. And then I found this Martian. And I brought him here, now.
I don't see no Martian.
I'm the last Martian.
What did you say?
Biggs, I'm going to kill you.
Oh, cut it out. What kind of a lousy joke is that? Now, don't put that gun away. You're kidding, huh? Spender, you're...
He's dead. You killed him. You can come with me, Cherokee. You're an Indian. You know how the Martians would feel. You can be with me in this.
You killed him. You just killed him.
He deserved it.
You're crazy.
Maybe I am. But you can come with me.
Come with you for what? Go on, get out of here, you crazy murderer.
Of all of them, I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd remember what happened to your own people.
You get out of here, you crazy murdering...
Don't reach for that gun!
Spender.
Hathaway, break out the arms locker. Issue pistols, rifles, and grenades.
Yes, sir?
And you'd better get the Bible out of the navigation chest. We have to bury these two. Parkhill, you start digging a grave.
How about Spender?
We'll have to go up in the hills and find him.
Just let me at him with my bare hands, a crazy murdering louse.
That's enough, Parkhill. The man is sick. He must be...
Sick, my eye. He's
That's enough. Now grab a shovel and start digging.
Spender saw the thin dust rising in the valley, and he knew the pursuit was beginning. The sun burned farther up the sky, and the blue sand drifted lazily across the sea bottom below. He sat beside a quiet pool 10,000 years old and held a silver book. Through the house played the strange wind music of ancient Mars, and he heard voices whisper in his mind.
I hear you. I've always heard you, even down there on Earth.
Run.
No, I won't run. What's the use?
Live, Earthman. Live.
Live? What for? To see them tear down your temples and put up hot dog stands?
Run.
They've seen me now. They know I'm up here.
Live.
There's Wilder now. I've got him right in my sights.
Kill, Earthman. Kill.
Funny, he hasn't ordered them to use grenades. They could lob one right up here and blow me to bits. Yeah, maybe the captain thinks I'm too nice to be blown to bits. He wants my death to be clean. Just one bullet hole in me, nothing messy. And why? Because he understands me.
Kill.
The only one in the crew who ever did.
Kill.
Well, at least I can do the same for him. Just one bullet in his head, a nice clean death. All I have to do is pull the trigger and then... It's no use, I can't do it to him.
Spender! Can you hear me, Spender?
I hear you, Captain. What do you want?
Talk! Truce!
All right. Come on up. Leave your gun down there and keep your hands up.
Oh. That's quite a climb. You mind if I sit down?
How long do you think you can hold out?
Until you're all dead.
Why didn't you kill all of us this morning when you had the chance? You could have.
I know. I got sick. After I started killing people, I realized they were just fools and I shouldn't be killing them, but it was too late. So I came up here where I could get angry again.
Why did you do it?
When I was a kid, my folks took me to visit Mexico City. I'll always remember the way my father acted, loud and big. And my mother didn't like the people because she thought they didn't wash enough. I can see my mother and my father coming to Mars and acting the same way. Anything that's strange is no good to us. We aren't fit to take over this planet.
But to kill two men.
How would you feel if a Martian spit on the White House floor?
You know, you haven't acted very civilized yourself today.
I'll kill you all off, Wilder. That'll delay the next rocket 5 years, and then I'll kill them, too. And if I'm lucky, I'll live to be 60. And I'll meet every expedition that lands on Mars. Oh, I'll be very friendly. I'll explain our rocket blew up one day. And then I'll kill them off. I'll save Mars for half a century. And by then, maybe the Earth people will give up.
And yet you're outnumbered. We already have you surrounded. In an hour, you will be dead.
I found an underground passage that'll take me back in the hills, Wilder. I'll go back there. And then I'll pick you off one by one.
We'll see. Well, it's a nice town you've got here, Spender. It's beautiful. I'd like to live here.
You can. Join me. You're not like them. Why go back to them, Captain? I'll show you what a good life these people had.
No, there's too much earth blood in me. I may even agree with you about all this, but that does not change what I must do.
You won't stay?
No. This is your last chance, Bender. Look, you're sick. Now come along with me quietly.
No. One last thing. If you win, do me a favor. Try to see that they don't tear this planet apart.
Right.
And if it helps, just think of me as a very crazy fellow who went berserk one summer day. Be easier on you that way.
Now I'll think that over. So long, Spender.
Bye, Captain. Good luck.
The men spread out again, walking and then running on the hot hillside places where there would be sudden cool grottos that smelled of moss, and sudden open blasting places that smelled of sun or stone. The men ran and ducked and ran and squatted in the shadows.
I'll blow his brains!
Captain Wilder hugged the rock warmed by the sun. He gasped, for the air was thin and not meant for running. Spender lay at the top of a hill, and a gap in the rocks showed the white of his shirt against the shadows. Wilder looked at the towers of the little clean Martian village, like sharply carved chess pieces lying in the afternoon. He saw the rocks, and the interval between, where Spender's chest was revealed.
Go on, Spender. Get out. You've only got a few seconds to escape. Go on, get out of the caves. Come back later. You go now. I've got to win this. I've got to think that I'm right and pull this trigger. Go now. Get out.
I'll get him! A slug in the head, I'll blow his bloody brains!
No, Parkhill! Put down that gun. I'll do this myself. Spender. Why didn't you get out? Why? Why? Why?
They buried him in that ancient valley town, where the music of the wind played on through the days and the nights. They laid him in an ancient silver sarcophagus with waxes and wines which were 10,000 years old, his hands folded on his chest. The last they saw of him was his peaceful face in the cold silver light of the racing twin moons. The captain found the poem in Spender's pocket, and he read it before he shut the marble door.
So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night. Though the heart be still as loving, and the moon be still as bright. Though the night was made for loving, and the day returns too soon, yet we'll go no more a-roving by the light of the moon.
The next afternoon, Parkhill did some target practice in one of the dead cities, shooting out the crystal windows and blowing the tops off the fragile towers. Captain Wilder caught Parkhill and nearly knocked his teeth out.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you the Ray Bradbury story, And the Moon Be Still as Bright, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Larkin, Clark Gordon, Dick Hamilton, Nelson Olmsted, Lawrence Kerr, and Stan Early. Your narrator was Norman Rose. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Our next broadcast was produced for syndication in 1949 at WMGM New York. It was based on a popular series of movies in the late 1930s and early 1940s and brought to the microphone the stars of the series, Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Ayres plays the young, idealistic doctor, and Barrymore, ever in character, was the crusty, lovable diagnostician. The men worked at Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine, a clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on. We present to you Dr. Kildare on HOJO Radio.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. Whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for the...
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. Now, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine, a clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, the nerve center of medical progress, where great minds and skilled hands wage man's everlasting battle against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on.
All right, one side, please. Let me through here now. Pardon me. Thank you.
I'm sorry,
Stand back now, will you please? Move back, everyone. Give her a chance to breathe.
Did you bring the doctor with you, officer?
No. You the owner of this lunchroom?
Yeah, Hurley's my name. Should have brung a doctor. She's in bad shape.
Yeah, she looks it. What happened?
We walked in here about 5 minutes before midnight, stood there by the door a second, and she fell flat on her face, out cold.
Ever seen her before?
No. And don't get any wrong ideas. She didn't buy it in here.
Didn't buy what?
Smell her breath.
Oh. So that's it.
She's drunk. Boy, this younger generation.
Just a kid. 17 at the most. Oh, well. Give me a hand here. We'll get her out to the car.
You going to take her down and book her?
Planning to file charges?
Nah. Just get her out of here. That's all I care.
I think I'll take her over to Blair Hospital. Come on. Give me a hand.
Okay.
Yes, she seems to be responding to the caffeine a little now, Dr. Gillespie.
Good, Jimmy.
At least that fluttery pulse is beginning to straighten out.
I think you can start giving her the oxygen now. Keep her on it for a couple of hours or so. She'll pull out of it all right.
Yes, Doctor. Oh, Sergeant, it's a good thing you brought her here. That's alcohol in her bloodstream running over 3 parts in 1,000. Well, she really needed a doctor.
Well, I didn't have the heart to run her in, Doc. She looked too young, I guess. Or too pretty.
Find anything in her purse?
Yeah. Match folders from 3 different bars, for one thing. I'll pay him a little visit in the morning. She's an obvious minor.
Any identification, Blaine?
Marion Lewis, according to the card here. Address on the Upper West Side.
Nearest relative's her mother, Mrs. Clyde Lewis. Same address.
Well, she certainly had one too many to find her way there tonight.
This girl's had a dozen too many, so it wasn't any accident. She did it on purpose. I wonder why.
Jimmy, stop right there. You're going out on a limb again.
Why should she deliberately set out to knock herself silly? What's behind it?
I don't know, and if you're planning to butt in and try and find out, you can do it alone.
Count you out. That it?
Confound it, yeah, sure. I'm getting too old for this probing into patients' lives.
I see.
It's a case of acute alcoholic poisoning. So, let's leave it that way. You just treat her and release her.
All right. Nobody's pushing you.
Dr. Kildare, the oxygen equipment is coming up in the freight elevator.
Good, Barker. Oh, Dr. Gillespie, do you mind if your able assistant stays here and helps me?
Of course I don't mind. Glad to get rid of old Snoopy for a while.
Well...
I guess I better get going, Jimmy. Want to check with the precinct desk and notify the girl's parents.
All right, Blaine. I'll let you know how she gets along.
I'll walk out with you, Blaine. I never like to interfere with Kildare's cases.
Thank you, Doctor.
Oh, there is one thing, Jimmy, though. Just for the report, of course.
Oh?
As soon as she's conscious, let me know what you find out about her.
There, now, it's all right, Marion.
All right. Where am I?
You're in Blair Hospital. I'm Dr. Kildare.
Hospital?
Parker, you can have this inhalator taken out. Bring some hot coffee. I think that'll be better now than the caffeine shot.
All right, Dr. Kildare. I'll be right back.
I wish I could die.
Oh, is that what you were trying to do?
No. But I didn't care whether I did.
17 years old and didn't care whether you lived or not?
I suppose you're like everybody else. You think it's just great to be young. And everything's perfect. Simple and easy.
No, I think it's a fairly confusing world at any age, Marion. But it's a lot worse when you're just finding it out.
No, I found it out all right. How did I get here?
The police brought you.
The police?
Sergeant Blaine, a friend of mine. You passed out in an all-night lunchroom.
What are they going to do to me?
Nothing. There are no charges against you. After you're released in the morning, you can go right out and do the same thing again if you like.
Yes, I probably will. What of it?
Oh, one night you won't get to a doctor soon enough, or a car will run you down, or something.
I know. I don't care.
Marion, how long has this been going on?
Drinking?
The
The last few months. Tonight was the worst yet.
Like to tell me the reason?
You wouldn't understand. You'd just think it was silly. Even my father and mother don't understand.
Unfortunately, parents are the last to understand sometimes. It's a mixed-up world for them, too, you know.
Not for mine. They got it all figured out. And they despise me. They hate me.
Oh, come in, Parker.
Here's the coffee, Dr. Kildare. The night supervisor had some already made.
Good. Put it here on the table by the bed.
All right, Doctor.
You probably don't want this, Marion, but let's try to get a cup or two down anyway.
Dr. Kildare...
You can have a little cream if you like, but it's better if you drink it black.
Oh, Dr. Kildare...
Well, Dr. Gillespie, you wanted a full report as soon as she was conscious enough to,
Kildare. This is Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, Marion's parents.
Oh, how do you do?
How do you do?
I've just been talking to your daughter.
How is she?
How is she? We've already found out she's dead drunk.
Clyde, please.
She's going to be all right, Mrs. Lewis.
Oh, thank heaven.
Oh, Elizabeth, you take up for that kid no matter what she did. She's no good, and that's all there is to it.
I'm afraid I don't agree with you, Mr. Lewis.
I suppose you think you know more about her than I do.
Strangely enough, I think I do.
Jimmy.
Excuse me, Dr. Gillespie.
Mr. Lewis, I'd like to talk to you in the outer office for just a minute. Huh?
All right.
Oh, Dr. Gillespie, I knew something like this was going to happen to my daughter.
Mr. Lewis, I've just been talking to your daughter, as you know, and, well, if I may take the liberty of advising you, I'd like to say that she has a good many problems.
Problems? A girl her age has problems?
Not to you, maybe, but enough to put her in a hospital. The reason I wanted to talk to you out here, away from your wife, is that in time they might become big enough to kill her if you're not worked out.
And what are all these problems?
Oh, just little ones. Silly ones, in fact. Like, well, you wanting her to wear clothes too young for her and that she's not allowed to have dates when other girls of her age are. Things like that.
No, that's it. That's what started it all.
Hmm?
One night I caught her sneaking out and meeting some fellow at the corner drugstore. And to lock her up in her room for a month.
Don't you realize you just can't lock a person up and expect them to understand? You've got to talk things over with them.
Talk it over with her? You act like she's already a grown-up woman.
Well, at 17, if she's not well along to being grown up, she never will be. You see, Mr. Lewis, a girl her age is
All right. Everybody to their own opinion. She'll be ready to leave here in about 10 minutes?
She won't be ready to leave here tonight.
Why not?
Because, Mr. Lewis, I'm not ready to release her.
Well, now, we'll just have to see about that young fellow. I think you've got a few things to learn.
Maybe so, but in my opinion, there are a whole lot of things you ought to learn, Mr. Lewis, and for the sake of that girl, you'd better learn them fast.
All right, Jimmy, I agree with you. You're absolutely right. But confound it, relax. Calm down.
Okay, Dr. Gillespie, I'm sorry I lost my temper, but... Oh, well.
I know. That righteous smugness of his would make anybody.
Yeah.
He can't see any side of it but his own.
Just it. There's nothing really bad about that girl. All she needs is someone who will treat her as a person, who will listen to her ideas and try to understand her.
Well, I guess her father's given her very little of that. You know, Jimmy, it's the same old business. 9 times out of 10... alcoholism is a secondary problem. There's always something behind it. Usually the reason isn't as clear-cut as this one. Come in. Well, if it isn't Dr. Carew.
Gentlemen, just step right in, Mrs. Lewis. Mr. Lewis?
Thank you.
By the great horn spoon. Carew, do you sleep in that gardenia?
Certainly not, Dr. Gillespie. Merely because it's 3 o'clock in the morning is no reason not to make oneself presentable when one is called on to appear in public, that is.
Presentable. Yeah.
Dr. Kildare, these people tell me you precipitated a little crisis.
Well,
Carew, inasmuch as Kildare and I have similar opinions in this matter, you may address us collectively.
Oh, dear.
Why, Dr. Gillespie, I thought you were too old for this sort of thing.
Ridiculous. Well, Carew, fire at will.
Now, Dr. Gillespie.
Look, I don't know what this is all about, but I'm only concerned with one thing. Dr. Carew, suppose you give this young man his orders.
Now, Mr. Lewis, just leave this to me.
Carew, the answer is no.
Dr. Gillespie, please. Now, Dr. Kildare, I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to release the young lady to the custody of her parents at once.
Sorry, but I'm holding her for observation.
Observation? She's able to talk. She's able to go home where she belongs.
I'm not so sure that is where she belongs.
Now, Dr. Kildare, we can't let our personal opinions enter into our cases, you know.
Well, then call it a professional opinion. Dr. Carew, she's under my care, and according to law, she stays there until I release her.
Oh, I'm sure you wouldn't take such an unfortunate attitude as...
I'll get it. Kildare speaking.
Sergeant Blaine, Jimmy.
Oh, yes.
Sorry to have to tell you this, but there's just been a complaint filed against the Lewis girl for shoplifting.
What? Are you sure it's her?
Can't be any doubt since the description filed fits both her and the clothes she was wearing.
Well, look, Blaine, can you stall until the morning, and I'll call the shop and try to fix it up or something?
I'll do what I can, Doc. Call me in the morning.
Oh, thanks. Goodbye. Well, there's no use having any further discussion about this tonight. I've got a patient who's in trouble, and if I can, I'm going to help her out of it. Regardless of what anyone says, I'm not going to release her until I'm ready. That's final.
return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. Now we continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Well, that's that. 4 a.m., Dr. Gillespie. With all the irate parents and our fat-headed superintendent cleared out now, maybe we can finally get some sleep.
Yeah, could be, Jimmy. Of course, we still haven't done much toward clearing up the problem, though.
I know. I can hold them off for the moment by refusing a release for Marion, but that's only temporary. Something has to be done tomorrow.
What about this shoplifting business? It's pretty serious, isn't it?
Serious enough. Apparently, Marion tried on some clothes in a dress shop, then left wearing them while the salesgirl was busy at something else.
Ah, the crazy young fool.
Now, Blaine's going to stall the warrant as long as he can. I'll call the shop in the morning, see if I can get them to drop the charges if I guarantee the cost of the clothes.
Getting in pretty deep, aren't you, Jimmy?
Oh, what can you do? Well, I noticed you were right there with me.
Well, that was merely a personal attitude toward Carew. If he'd said black was black, I'd have said it was green.
Oh, all right, so it was entirely personal. It still doesn't answer the question, how are we going to help her?
The girl needs understanding. Problem's as simple as that. Only the answer's not quite as simple.
No, because the only logical answer is to bring her and her parents together. Right now, they're 1,000 miles apart.
They need some common basis to work from. By the tarnation, aside from the fact that they're distantly related by birth, I don't see one.
Neither do I. I'm going to talk to both sides again in the morning.
Do that, Jimmy, do that. Now, we'd better both get some sleep, or tomorrow you'll look as wilted as Carew's gardenia.
I don't know why I did it, Dr. Kildare. I only meant to look at the clothes and try them on. And they were so beautiful and so...
So they made you look grown up, huh? They were clothes you'd picked out yourself?
Yes. And I was so miserable I didn't care what happened. So I took them.
Took them? You know, we never get anywhere by kidding ourselves, Marion. Is that really what you mean?
No. I stole them. Dr. Kildare, will they send me to jail?
No, they got a check this morning. They've withdrawn the charges.
You sent them... But why? I can't pay you back. I don't have a job. My parents think I'm too young to work.
Well, forget that for the moment. We'll worry about it later. Marion, how did all this start?
Well, I don't know. My folks wouldn't let me have friends at home. Not any at all.
No?
Finally, I got so I'd slip off to the corner drugstore and talk to people. Boys. It wasn't anything. We just laughed and talked.
I see.
And Dad found out about it and locked me in my room at nights for a month.
So finally it all led up to last night, huh?
Yes.
And a dead end, too, because that isn't the solution, you know.
Dr. Kildare, there isn't any solution. I won't go back home again and have them tell me how low I am, how ungrateful, and how I failed them. And there's nothing else. Nothing.
Well, now, Mr. Lewis, maybe Kildare isn't quite as wrong as you think he is.
Of course he's wrong.
Now, wait a minute. You and I come from what they call the older generation. And the world's changed a lot since we came into it.
Well, maybe the world has, but right and wrong never change.
Oh, that could be. I sometimes wonder, though, if we don't use these words right and wrong pretty loosely. Anything that we're familiar with, that is, that we learned before we were 21 years old, we call right. And anything new that's come along since, we call it wrong. There's no basis for it either way.
And I can't agree with you, Dr. Gillespie.
Huh.
Everybody knows the things this modern generation does, and I won't have Marion acting the same way.
Well, it seems to me that people have been selling the younger generation short for about 20 centuries or more. But each time they managed to come through it all right.
No, sir, things were different when we were young.
Different, yes, but not necessarily any better. And you know, we didn't do such a hard job of building a new world, Mr. Lewis.
Well, nevertheless, I feel that...
Oh, come on in, Jimmy.
Mr. Lewis.
Good morning, Dr. Kildare.
I guess I owe you an apology. Sorry I lost my temper last night.
Well, I did a little of that myself, as I remember. But I think we can be more reasonable about it this morning.
Oh, I hope so.
And my wife's waiting downstairs, so if you'll fix up that release, we'll just take Marion right along with us.
Well, she's a very hurt girl, Mr. Lewis, or a very sick one, if you want to put it that way.
Well, hangover can give...
Oh, no. It's a lot deeper than that. I do hope you'll be gentle with her. Try to talk to her and reason with her.
Look, Kildare, when I was a kid and did anything wrong, my father didn't talk to me. He used the back of a hairbrush. That's reason enough for me.
It's no use, Jimmy. I tried every argument I could think of.
Well, Dr. Kildare, are you going to sign that release or not?
No, I'm not, Mr. Lewis. In my opinion, Marion still needs medical care.
In that case, I'd better see a lawyer.
Whatever you like.
Oh, one other thing, Kildare. I understand you paid off that dress shop for the clothes Marion stole. Of course, I want to make good.
Save it for the funeral.
I see. Well, I'll find out from the police and mail you a check. I pay my debts.
I can tell you one you'll never be able to pay.
I think that's a matter of opinion. Good day, gentlemen.
Well, there goes nothing.
He's hard-headed, all right.
And the worst of it is, he loves his daughter. He's just as hurt as she is.
Sure he is, but he's too confounded stubborn to tolerate any idea but his own.
And there's nothing we can do.
Mm-hmm.
If he sees a lawyer, he'll have her back in his custody within 24 hours. I can't support any claim that she needs further medical care.
Well, we did all we could.
Now, come in, Parker.
Dr. Kildare, have you forgotten you're supposed to make the rounds in the crippled children's ward at 11 o'clock?
No, Parker, I was just about to... Say, you know something?
What?
A long shot. Parker.
Huh?
Go stop Mr. Lewis and bring him back here. His wife, too. Hurry.
Haven't we seen about enough of this now, Dr. Kildare?
Oh, there's only one more section, Mr. Lewis. It's right ahead of us.
Well, it can't be much different from the others.
Now, here we are. We won't go inside. We can look through these windows along the corridor. These children are all under 5 years old.
Oh. And all of them are handicapped in some way.
In various ways. And furthermore, most of them are charity patients, wards of either the hospital or some charitable organization.
Dr. Kildare, I assume you had some point in mind when you insisted we come here with you. I wonder if you'd explain just what it was.
I'm not sure whether I can explain it, Mr. Lewis. I guess I wanted to show you some of the differences in handicaps, and to point out that physical handicaps aren't the only kinds. Look, Mr. Lewis, that curly-headed little boy there by the window, the one with braces on both legs.
Yes, I see.
Suppose he was yours, and you didn't happen to like the way he was forced to walk. Now, what would you do? Try to help him to learn to walk his way, or beat him with a hairbrush because he couldn't walk your way?
Well,
Can you imagine a child like that being no good?
Well...
Oh, Clyde, we have been wrong sometimes, you know. We failed her as much as she could ever fail us.
I wonder if maybe you aren't right. So many things we could have done and didn't.
So many things we thought were important. Perhaps they're not.
Elizabeth, I think maybe we'd better talk this over.
You'll find a conference room at the end of the corridor. You won't be disturbed.
Well, thanks, Dr. Kildare. Come on, dear.
Well, I'll be darned.
You're the luckiest man I ever saw.
Oh, I didn't hear you come up.
Long shot paid off, huh?
Well, that's the way it seems.
And I'm glad it did, but...
But what?
Jimmy, would you mind explaining the logic of your plan?
Well, I don't know. I just had a hunch, I guess, a feeling.
But confound it, Jimmy, it doesn't even make good sense.
Only there's one thing about it, Dr. Gillespie.
What?
It worked.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. And now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Dr. Gillespie.
Confound it, Parker. Can't Kildare and I have 5 minutes conversation without you poking your long nose in?
Well.
Never mind. What do you want?
Well, Dr. Carew's outside there. Shall I show him in?
Show him in, show him out. I don't care where you show him.
Oh.
I think I know what he wants. I doubt if he's heard
Oh, let's pour it on him, Jimmy.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Well, Jimmy, look, if it isn't Dr. Carew.
Yes, I believe it is at that.
Gentlemen, please.
Step into our parlor, Carew. Speak up. What's on your mind?
Gentlemen, I've refrained from exercising my authority, but there can be no more quibbling now, no more dilly-dallying.
Isn't that word dallying, Dr. Gillespie?
Jimmy, I think you're right.
Gentlemen, that girl, I want her released at once.
I guess he means you, Jimmy. I'm not holding any girl.
Dr. Gillespie, you know very well who I mean. It's that Marion Lewis girl.
Lewis? Marion Lewis?
Well, there is something familiar about that name.
Oh, I remember, Dr. Gillespie. That's the girl who left with her parents right after lunch.
Dr. Kildare, I won't listen to any other... She what?
You know, I don't think Dr. Carew really knows what's going on around here.
Oh, dear. But I thought... I mean, you said that... But last night you... Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Parker, open the door for Dr. Carew. He's trying to walk through the back of the closet.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by Les Crutchfield and directed by William P. Russo. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Ted Osborne, Lorene Tuttle, Tal Avery, Barbara Ruick, and Jack Crucian. Dick Joy speaking.
Thanks for listening to HOJO Radio. We have more classic radio coming your way next.
The story of Dr. Kildare.
Whatsoever house I enter, there will I go for the benefit of the sick. Or whatsoever things I see or hear concerning the life of men, I will keep silence thereon, counting such things to be held as sacred trusts. I will exercise my art solely for...
The story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer brought you those famous motion pictures. Now this exciting, heartwarming series is heard on radio. In just a moment, the story of Dr. Kildare. But first, your announcer. Now, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Blair General Hospital, one of the great citadels of American medicine. A clump of gray-white buildings planted deep in the heart of New York, the nerve center of medical progress, where great minds and skilled hands wage man's everlasting battle against death and disease. Blair General Hospital, where life begins, where life ends, where life goes on.
Parker, for the first time in months, I get a chance to relax for an hour and read a book, and what happened?
Well, after all, Dr. Gillespie, I only
Oh,
wanted...
shut up!
Well,
The History of Modern Medicine, a book I've wanted to read for a year, and you come popping in here with a handful of fiddle-faddle.
well, these letters are all addressed to you, and somebody has to answer them.
I don't see why.
But you have to answer letters. People always
Well,
do.
I don't. Throw them in the wastebasket. If there's anything important, they'll write again. And then get out of here.
Oh.
Confounded, Parker. If Pasteur had had you for a nurse, he'd have never discovered germs.
Huh?
He'd have been too busy planning some way to murder you.
I never saw such an insulting man in my life.
Oh, Jimmy, come on. Come in. Thanks. No, leave the door open. Parker was just leaving.
Well, I guess I can certainly take a hint.
All right, now. But say, something's wrong. What is it?
I just lost a patient, Dr. Gillespie.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy. Who was it?
The old fellow in 531. Sarcoma. Entered about a week ago.
And in bad shape, too. I remember him. Jimmy, I could have told you then.
We tried everything. Radium, X-rays, tracers. All this knowledge we think we have. Why, we're only working in the dark.
Well, sometime, yeah. But we know more now than we did last year. And more then than 10 years before.
I know, and 10 years from today, we'll know still more. But there are so many thousands of sufferers who could use more knowledge now.
It takes time and research, Jimmy. Sometimes you younger doctors don't realize how fast medicine's moving, just in the last 30 years or so.
The faster, the better. It's still too slow.
Oh, fine. And think that way if you like. That's what keeps it moving. But don't forget it is moving, like I was just reading here. Only 60 or 70 years ago, they were operating frequently without any anesthetic.
I know. Must have been rough.
Rough? Why, at the big hospital, they'd ring a bell in the lobby for the interns to come and hold the victim down. That must have been quite a pleasant sound for the patient and the doctor. There's no bell here at Blair General... Well, not that kind, Lee.
Yeah, Kildare speaking. Yes, Wayman. Yeah. What? Yeah, yes, of course. I'll be right down.
What is it, Jimmy?
Accident a few blocks from here. Man caught in one of the service tunnels below the subway. Badly hurt. I'm going over with Wayman in the ambulance. I'll see you later.
No, Jimmy. If it's important enough for you, it's important enough for me.
He's a maintenance man, electrician. Started down this manway to service a fan. Slipped, I guess, and fell. He's hung up about 30 feet down.
Jesus, Doc, this ain't going to be easy.
Could be, Wayman. How big is the manway, officer?
2 feet in diameter. It is vertical with an iron ladder down one side.
2 feet? There's not going to be much room to work, Jimmy.
I went down, fastened a rope sling under his arms, tied him to the ladder so he wouldn't fall on down the shaft.
Good.
I didn't want to move him till you got here. You see, one of the iron rungs of the ladder must have got knocked loose some way and bent out. It's run through his stomach.
By the great horn spoon.
Is he bleeding badly?
Not as far as I can tell. He was unconscious when I came up. Here we are. Hold back now. You'll find mess if another one of you fell down on top of it.
It's going to be pretty cramped quarters down there, Jimmy.
Yes, I know. Oh, is that cord long enough to drop the light down to where he is?
Yeah, I used it when I went down.
Good. Now go ahead and lower it, Wayman. I'll get down there and see what I can do.
All right, Doc.
I'm confounded, Jimmy. Be careful.
You want us to tie a safety rope around you, Dr. Kildare?
No, it'll be only in the way. Tie it to this medical kit and lower it after I get down. Well, here goes. I'll know better what I need after I see him. Oh, by the way, officer, what's his name?
Sam Nowitzki.
Okay.
What difference does that make?
Patient always feels more confident when the doctor uses his name.
Just yell up the shaft if you want something, Doc. And watch yourself.
Right, Wayman. Easy now, Sam. It's all right.
Who's that?
I'm a doctor from Blair Hospital. Let me get around here. That's it. There.
Doc, I'm fine.
No, you're not. I'm going to take care of you, Sam. Everything is all right.
It hurts bad.
I know it does, but it's nothing we can't fix. Believe me now. Oh, Wayman, hurry up with that kit.
Coming down now, Doc.
Oh, and something else, Wayman. Send down 2 pints of plasma.
Dr. Paul.
No, here's the kit. And the morphine. Good.
Doc, I guess my life is in your hands now.
Yes, I guess that's right.
Don't let me die.
Sam, that's a deal.
Hey, he's on his way up, Dr. Gillespie. You can stop worrying.
Worrying? Who's worrying?
Well, you've been hopping around on one foot for the last 20 minutes.
Ridiculous. Wayman, you're out of your mind.
Are you trying to tell me you haven't been...
Wayman!
Yes, sir. I mean, yes, sir.
Here, Dr. Kildare, let me give you a hand.
Thanks, officer.
Jimmy, how is he? What's the story?
He's badly hurt, but we still have a chance. Good chance. He's groggy from the morphine, and the plasma's taking care of the shock pretty well.
Good.
Seems to have a strong heart. That's in our favor.
Well, if you're through with emergency treatment now, we'd better get him out of that hole.
And there's the problem, Dr.
What do you
Gillespie.
mean?
Well, one end of that iron rung is still welded to the side of the ladder. I'm afraid to pull it out of the wound until we get him to the hospital.
That means you'll have to find some way to cut it off the ladder.
I know. That's why I came up. Oh, do you have a hacksaw there in those tools?
Yes, there's one here, Dr. Kildare. Do you want a mechanic to go down and cut it out?
No. There's only room for one. I'll have to do it myself.
Jimmy, what about a tetanus shot?
I'll make a serum test when we get him in the ambulance. We can give him a shot at the hospital. The sooner he's operated on, the better. Here, let's have that hacksaw. All right. Now, take it easy.
Doc.
Take it easy.
Doc.
What is it, sir? What is it?
Doc, am I still...
You're still alive, and you're still going to stay that way. I made a deal with you, didn't I?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you just grit your teeth and keep on fighting, and in 15 minutes you'll be in the hospital. All right, Wayman, careful now. Slide the stretcher under.
Right, boss. Here we go.
Is he unconscious, Jimmy?
Yes, I gave him another morphine along with the penicillin. All right, Wayman, let's go.
Lucky they let me bring the ambulance right down the tunnel here. We'd have had to pack him 100 yards.
Yeah. Oh, would you mind bringing my kit, Dr. Gillespie?
I've already got it, Jimmy.
Here we are.
Easy now. Okay, lock her down. Right, Wayman. Now, let's go. Now, you take the seat, Dr. Gillespie. I'll ride the side of the stretcher.
Good.
Through the head and up the side ramp.
Okay, Mike. Ready, Doc?
Anytime. Let her roll.
I've got operating room 4 all set up and ready, Dr. Kildare. An intern and 2 nurses are standing by there now.
Fine, Parker.
Wayman, you wheel him in here and get him off the stretcher. Kildare and I'll go ahead and scrub up.
Gotcha, Doc.
And be careful not to move that iron bar.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, Parker, we'll need a type B formula for the tetanus shot. He's allergic to horse serum.
All right, Dr. Kildare. I'll draw it from the dispenser.
I'm assigned as operative assistant, Doctor. What anesthetic do you plan to use?
He may have serious internal injuries. What do you think, Dr. Gillespie?
Better play it safe and don't take chances on nausea afterwards.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll use sodium pentothal.
Very well, Doctor.
Come on, Jimmy, let's go to work. Jimmy, I haven't been as tired as this for weeks.
I haven't either. Quite a day. But he came through the operation all right, barring shock. I think he'll pull through now.
Oh, no doubt of it at all. He's one of the 97.6%.
No? What do you mean by that?
Well, according to this book here, History of Modern Medicine, that's the present rate of recovery from serious abdominal injuries.
I see.
Whereas the recovery rate at the time of World War I was only 38%. Yes, remarkable improvement, Jimmy.
All right, no argument.
Furthermore, in this particular case, the patient wouldn't have had any chance of being even one of the 38%.
No? Well, why not?
A number of reasons. Any one of which would have killed him. In the first place, without plasma, he'd have died of shock right there in that hole.
Very probably.
And before the discovery of penicillin and the sulfur compounds, he'd have died of blood poisoning.
Well, puncture of the peritoneum was usually fatal.
Of course, morphine and anti-tetanus serum had been known for a few years, but...
But I know. We hadn't stumbled onto the phenomenon of anaphylaxis. We'd have given him a standard serum shot without realizing he might be allergic to it, and that itself would have killed him.
And we didn't have pentothal. We'd have had to use ether. Gillespie speaking, huh? Oh, for you, Jimmy.
Yes? What? Well, yes, that's all you can do. All right, Parker, I'll be right down.
What's the trouble, Jimmy?
It might have been better if we didn't have those medical improvements. Patient's alive, all right, but they've had to put him in a mechanical respirator. He's paralyzed.
We return to the story of Dr. Kildare in just a moment. Now we continue with the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
Well, Jimmy, judging by the general area involved and the nature of the paralysis, I'd say something's affected the sympathetic system pretty close to the spinal column.
Yes, that's where it has to be. It's the only place where that many nerve chains lie close together. Now, look here on the chart. If there were an injury or pressure or whatever anywhere along any of these two trunks would account for the whole set of symptoms, but nowhere else.
And that iron bar went in about here. And ran back and up there.
Yes, it perforated the peritoneum here, missed the front of the diaphragm, pushed this lobe of the liver aside, and lodged against the horn of the 7th dorsal vertebra. Here.
That's right.
And he's paralyzed from the chest down.
It's strange the paralysis would occur suddenly 2 hours after the operation. In a military case, you suspect a piece of shrapnel in the wound.
Yes, one that had shifted and was pressing on the nerve trunk or something. Well, anyway, here's what did it. This end broke loose from the weld on the ladder, and of course I saw it off the other end.
It's a jagged break, all right, but still...
You know, there is one possibility. There could have been a metal fragment on this broken end that came off and lodged in the wound.
Well, yeah, it would certainly fit the symptoms.
And right now, it seems to be the only explanation that does. We'd better check it. Parker.
Jimmy? I suppose you realize that this means using another modern medical technique.
Yes, I know, Doctor. I'm way ahead of you.
Did you want me for something, Dr. Kildare?
Yes, Parker. Will you set up an X-ray room right away? Hello, Sam. How are you feeling?
He can't very well answer you with the faceplate of that respirator over his mouth.
I know. Sam, just nod your head if you're all right. Good.
He has a pad and pencil there, Dr. Kildare, if you'd like to ask him anything.
No, I don't think it'll be necessary, Parker. Just a few X-rays, Sam. Want to take a look inside of you and make sure you're all right. Okay? Fine. Larry, can you get a focus on him without moving him off the stretcher?
What are you planning to shoot?
The dorsal region of the spine, from as many angles as possible.
Well, I think I can get it all right. These new machines are pretty flexible. What is it, orthopedic?
No. We're looking for a small piece of metal lodged near the spine. We're not sure of the size yet.
Guess you'll want to fluoroscope first and plates later, huh?
I think that's the best idea.
Okay, let's move in a little. There. I'll try a straight frontal first. Dorsal, huh?
Yeah, probably near the center. 7th or 8th vertebra.
All right.
Move the screen back a little, Jimmy.
There you are.
It's all right, Mrs. Nowitzki. This isn't going to hurt you a bit.
There's nothing there that I can see.
No, not a sign.
I can give you a little more density if you want. There you are.
Not a thing. It can't be above the 5th or below the 9th.
Well, there's a lot of bone in there, you know. But I'd still hate to shoot this up any higher.
Oh, it wouldn't do any good, Larry. Oh, you can cut it now.
Okay.
Can you give us a transverse shot now? Straight across from the side?
I think so. Have to lower the tube first.
If it were anywhere else but along the spine, it may not be any larger than a buckshot, you know. There are about 20 places it could be hidden by the bone shadow.
And it's possible there's no fragment of metal there, Jimmy.
Oh, there's got to be. What else explains it?
Okay. Anytime you're ready.
All right, Larry. Parker, how's he holding up?
Fine. I'm checking his pulse. Oh, just a minute. He's writing something.
Writing something?
Oh, it's for you, Dr. Kildare. Here.
Let me see.
Jimmy, what is it?
Says, Doc, is it still a deal? That's right, Sam. It's still a deal. All right, Larry, turn it on.
I don't know, Jimmy. With nothing from the fluoroscope, I doubt that his photographs will show anything either.
Oh, probably not, but we can't miss any chances. It's just too bad modern medicine had to pick this particular time to fall down on the job.
Oh, confound it. If only we could be sure the exact location of that fragment, it'd be simple enough to get it out.
I know, but without being sure, it's impossible. He's in no shape to stand a major exploratory. It'd kill him. Oh, here we are. Oh, hello, Wayman.
Hiya, Doc. And, sir, I just got back and they said you was taking x-rays, so I didn't bother you.
Oh, what'd you find out?
Well, I matched this here bar up with the place on the ladder, see? And there's a piece missing, all right. We searched the whole shaft and the floor at the bottom. Really shook it down.
Well, that settles it, Jimmy. There's our problem.
Yeah, sounds like it. Oh, Wayman, could you tell anything about the size of the piece?
Well, the way we figured, it's kind of three-cornered shape and about as big around as a lead pencil.
Confound it, a chunk of metal, no bigger than the nail of your little finger, and it's paralyzing a man. Probably kill him.
All our knowledge, we can't do a single thing to prevent it.
Dr. Kildare, Larry said to tell you that he's going right to work on the photograph.
Oh, good.
Got Mr. Nowitzki back to bed and give him the sedative you left. That respirator's bothering him quite a lot.
Oh, I know. It's bound to.
Tarnation.
Well, it certainly seems a shame that there isn't some way of locating a little tiny bit of metal like that. After all, they've got machines to find gold and uranium.
Parker.
Parker, you're an angel.
I'm a what?
Never mind. Call the Radford Electronics Laboratories. It's uptown somewhere. And get Dave Radford on the phone.
All right, Dr. Kildare. Radford Electronics.
Jimmy, what are you up to?
Just playing a hunch. You know, there may be one of those modern advances that even you haven't heard of.
Well, if we weren't in such a darn hurry, Jimmy, I'd be glad to explain how the gadget works.
Dave, I wouldn't know any more after you explain it. All I hope is that it does work.
And you mean to say that's all there is to it? That little black box you're carrying?
That's right, Dr. Gillespie. The batteries, vacuum tubes, relays, condenser circuits, self-contained. They're all in there. We call it the Berman detector. The Army medics used a few of them during the war. Shell fragments, shrapnel, and so on. Worked very well.
Here we are. You go ahead. This is Miss Parker, Mr. Radford.
How do you do, Mr. Radford? I don't think he'll wake up. Dr. Kildare, he's been sleeping pretty soundly from that sedative.
Well, it'll be better if he doesn't. I guess you can see why we're concerned, Mr. Radford.
Only way he can breathe, huh?
Yeah.
That's tough. Well, maybe we'd better see what we can do. It takes a minute to warm up.
How's the thing work, Dave? I mean, how do you go about using it?
Well, this metal rod unclips from the side here. It's attached to the circuit through this flexible cord. So I just move the tip of the rod at random like this until...
Uh-huh.
You must have a scalpel in that pocket, Dr. Gillespie.
Confound it, it's a stopwatch. And point that thing in some other direction.
Well, it's completely harmless. Well, we can start any time now.
Good. Now, if we're right, the fragment is against the spinal column somewhere between here and here.
And you think it's a piece of mild steel about the size of a pea?
Yes.
Okay, we'll try an arbitrary setting and see what we get. I'll move it slowly along from...
By the great horn spoon.
There it is.
Yeah. Just under the 8th dorsal. Parker, set up an operating room.
You know, Jimmy, this is a very interesting book I'm reading. The History of Modern Medicine.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've been glancing through that one myself the last few days.
Since the accident of Nowitzki's, by any chance?
As a matter of fact, I think it was the next day that I first looked at the book.
How is he?
Oh, fine. I just came from there. It's the 4th day now. I think he's out of danger.
Still breathing normally?
Normally, except for the fact he's snoring his head off.
Good sign. You know, Jimmy, it just goes to show what modern medical techniques can do for a patient.
I know. I didn't have any argument with you in the first place.
A fact of which I was aware.
But I just had a bad setback. I'd fought the case for a week in every way I knew and then lost it. Well, you know how you feel.
Yes, as though you were 3 inches tall, with a head of solid bone and both hands cut off at the wrist.
Oh, we have come a long way, Dr. Gillespie, and we've still a long way to go. You know, there's one thing in the profession that hasn't changed, though. Must have been the same for doctors 50 years ago or 500.
What do you mean?
Well, the feeling you get in a case like Sam Nowitzki's. When you put a patient back on his feet after all the odds say he should be dead.
Jimmy, if it weren't for that feeling, we wouldn't be in the medical profession, neither one of us. And with that pearl of wisdom, I hereby declare today's session in philosophy adjourned.
In just a moment, we will return to the story of Dr. Kildare. And now, once again, the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres as Dr. Kildare and Lionel Barrymore as Dr. Gillespie.
No, it's no use, Dr. Gillespie. I can't get a thing out of this culture. Looks completely homogeneous.
Well, now, Jimmy, maybe you haven't got the microscope focused properly. Well, Parker, what do you want?
Mr. Nowitzki is leaving, and he wants to say goodbye. I wasn't sure whether you'd mind.
Of course not, Parker. Send him in.
All right, Dr. Kildare.
I never saw a faster convalescent.
I hope I'm not busting in on something.
Oh, no, Sam. Come on in. We're just doing a little research.
Research, huh? Well, I guess I got a little different idea about that kind of stuff than I had a few weeks ago.
Well, there's quite a bit of it behind the simple fact that you're able to walk in through that door today.
I know, Dr. Gillespie. It makes me feel pretty guilty, too.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, there's a young doctor who lives on the top floor of the apartment house where I got his license about a year ago. Well, he ain't gone into practice. He's working on a cure for some disease. Got cages full of mice in his rooms, and he's up half the night sometimes.
Really serious about it, huh?
Yeah, and I've always ribbed him about not getting some patients and making an honest living. Well, I'll tell you one thing. When I get home, I'm going to climb up them stairs and shake his hand.
You know, that's a very good idea. And do something else, Sam. Shake his hand twice, will you? Once for me.
You have just heard the story of Dr. Kildare, starring Lou Ayres and Lionel Barrymore. This program was written by Les Crutchfield and directed by William P. Russo. Original music was composed and conducted by Walter Schumann. Supporting cast included Virginia Gregg, Ed Max, Frank Gerstle, Byron Kane, Vic Perrin, and Tudor Owen. Dick Joy speaking.
Our next broadcast is a radio mystery drama which ran from May 16th, 1942 until September 27th, 1955 on CBS Radio Network. The show was also broadcast in Chicago and over Armed Forces Radio. On the West Coast, it was sponsored by the Signal Oil Company. That whistle is your signal for the Signal Oil program. The program was also adapted into a film noir series by Columbia Pictures in 1944. Each episode began with the sound of footsteps and a person whistling. The haunting signature theme tune was composed by Wilbert Hatch and featured Dorothy Roberts whistling with an orchestra. We present to you The Whistler on HOJO Radio.
Wait a minute. Have you heard the strange tales of The Whistler?
I'm the Whistler.
I may be the district attorney, but if my son is guilty, he can pay the penalty like anyone else. I'll prosecute him, then, Blake, I'll start on you.
Sunday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the unusual story of the Weakling. Young Clyde Banning, son of District Attorney Banning, steps out of a nightclub following a gay New Year's Eve party. An expensive limousine pulls up to the curb, and Clyde gets in. Clyde has done some careless driving lately, had his driver's license revoked, and is now forced to be driven about by Rawlins, the family chauffeur.
Where to now, Mr. Banning? Let's go home, Rawlins.
Not yet, Clyde.
Hey, look. What are you doing in here? I thought you were still in the club.
I didn't think you even knew I was there.
Oh, I saw you a couple of times.
Why have you been avoiding me, Clyde? You know how it hurts me. What's happened?
Take Miss Blake home, Rawlins.
No, I won't go home. I won't be brushed off like this without an explanation. You know how much I love you, Clyde, and I can't go on like this any longer.
Please, this is no time to make a scene.
Clyde, you know you love me. Let's get married right now, tonight.
Please, let's not talk about it now.
I will talk about it now.
Rawlins, pull up, please.
I won't get out, Clyde. I won't.
I'll drive, Rawlins. You can take a cab home. You'll drive, but listen. Go on, Rawlins. I'll take Miss Blake home.
Don't take me home, Clyde. I've got to talk to you. Please, drive down to the Ocean Highway.
All right. All right, but cut out the melodrama.
Why have you changed so, Clyde? Why can't we get married?
You know as well as I. My father is district attorney, and he's out to crack that graft situation wide open. He knows who the big boss of the racket is, and he's going to get his scalp. Send him to the pen.
But what's that to do with us?
You know that Jim Blake is the big boss. Your own father.
But we have our own lives to live.
If I married you, Dad would throw me out on my ear.
What, of Dad, we could get along?
How? Your father won't have a dime when this is over. Besides, Dad is up for re-election. How would it look? DA's son marries convict's daughter.
I thought you really loved me.
But I've always liked you, Ellen, but it just won't work. It isn't fair to Dad.
Then you don't want to marry me?
I've told you how I feel about it.
What a ridiculous fool I've been.
Now, don't start that hysterical stuff
I've
again.
hoped against hope that you weren't trying to get rid of me, but now I know. You're a low, spineless jellyfish. You didn't love me. You couldn't.
Stop shouting.
I won't stop. I wish everyone could hear me. You know what a despicable rotter you are.
Shut up! No, stop it, you little fool! Ellen! Good Lord! Ellen! Oh, Lord. Her face. Ellen, darling. Better get a doctor. Maybe she... No, shouldn't move her. Yes, that's it. Get help.
Yes, Clyde. Better get help. There, just ahead, the low lights of the service station. Hurry, Clyde. Maybe she's still alive. What's the trouble, Clyde? You're slowing down.
Well, they might think I did it. Think I pushed her out. She's dead. Must be. No one knows. Better drive on.
You've passed it now, Clyde. You've really fixed things now. You should have stopped. Clyde's fear increases with every mile. He slips the car into the garage and hurries quietly to his room. But he doesn't sleep, not a wink. His head throbs, and with every thump of his heart, Ellen's words ring in his ears.
Low, spineless jellyfish. Low, spineless jellyfish.
Ellen, please, I didn't mean it. Forgive me, please.
District Attorney Banning sits at breakfast with his attractive wife, Marcia. Marcia is Clyde's stepmother. The district attorney scans his morning paper as Clyde, pale and worn, slips into his place at the table.
What do you think of that?
What is it, Henry?
Jim Blake's daughter was found dead on the Ocean Highway early this morning.
Oh, they found? On the Ocean Highway?
Oh, good morning, son. How have you been?
Oh, guess I overslept.
Really? Looks as though you hadn't slept at all.
Have a big evening? Too much champagne?
No. Gee, that's terrible about Blake's daughter. What happened to her?
I think she was thrown out of a car. Probably some enemy of Blake's. I dare say he has plenty.
Thrown out? Does it say that?
Yes. Well, I'd better go down to the office.
Maybe she jumped out.
Not likely. Venture to say she was pushed out, all right.
Why don't you have some coffee, Clyde? Help that hangover.
I haven't got a hangover.
What the name of heaven's wrong with you? You better take some aspirin, son, and go back to bed.
Well, you're going to the office today? It's New Year's Day. Never go down there on a holiday.
Going down for an hour or so. Will it upset your plans by any chance?
Haven't got any plans.
And what's bothering you?
Something's wrong with you, Clyde.
Nothing's wrong with me, and nothing's bothering me.
Just a moment. Who are you shouting at?
I'm not shouting at.
I think you'd better go on back to your room, go to bed. You're a bit too unpleasant to suit me.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Marcia.
That's all right, darling.
I'll feel all right after a while. I guess I did have too much champagne.
Never seen Clyde like this.
Well, you've only been around him a year, Marcia. He's a moody type, has spells, but he's a good boy. You'll learn all his little quirks in time. Well, I'll run along, darling. Be back in an hour or so.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Clyde. Yes? What is it, Thompson?
Rawlins, the chauffeur, would like to see you, sir.
Oh, yes? All right, send him in.
He'll see you, Rawlins.
What do you want, Roland?
I'd like to have a little talk with you, Clyde.
Yeah? What's on your mind?
Where did you go last night after you dismissed me?
What business is that of yours?
Well, I just thought I'd ask you. Got in around 2:30, didn't you, Clyde?
What of it?
Thought maybe you knew what happened to Ellen Blake.
Well, I took her home. What happened after that, I don't know.
She kind of put the pressure on you, didn't she?
What do you mean?
I heard every word you both said. She said she was determined to get married.
So what?
Well, it wouldn't be so good for you if I was to tell about last night.
No?
Oh, you made a big mistake when you let me out of that car. If you let me drive her home, why, you might not be in this jam.
Who said I was in a jam?
I say so.
What if you do tell what you know? That doesn't prove anything.
Oh, I got better proof than that.
What?
Ellen Blake's handbag. I found it in the car this morning. Here it is.
What?
Her initials on it, some personal effects inside.
Oh, yeah?
Now, I'm the only one who knows about all this. If I talk, you're certain to get a rope around your neck.
I didn't kill her. She jumped out.
Yeah? Can you prove that?
No.
If I tell about the argument and establish the time, you wouldn't have a chance.
I didn't kill her, I tell you.
How'd you like trying convincing a jury on that?
Oh.
Yeah. But you know, I don't have to say a word about it, Clyde.
Why should you?
It all depends on you.
What do you want?
Oh, I could use a little money.
How much?
$2,000 or $3,000.
What? Where would I get that much?
You get a nice allowance every month.
You're a dirty rat, Rawlins. I didn't like your looks when you came here 3 weeks ago. I thought you looked like a crook. I'll have you fired.
I don't think you will. You can't afford to.
Do I get the handbag?
No. Not until you pay off in full.
Suppose I tell you to go to the den.
And you'll be in jail within an hour. I mean business.
Okay. Okay, I'll pay as much as I can each month.
I don't want to wait too long.
I'll try to get it as soon as possible. I want that handbag.
You'll get it, kid. When I get the $3,000. Good afternoon, madame.
What do you mean, coming into my room without knocking?
And how is madame today?
What do you want?
I want to wish you a happy new year.
Well, of all the nerve. You get out of here.
No, don't get excited. I thought you might like to talk to me.
What do you mean?
Well, I've got a little information that might be of interest to you.
Information? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Clyde.
What about him?
Well, I was just wondering what would happen if your husband had to prosecute his own son for the murder of the daughter of the man he's out to break.
Are you crazy? What do you mean?
Clyde murdered Ellen Blake. Threw her out of the car.
What? How do you know that?
She was in love with Clyde. He was trying to shake her. I drove them away from a nightclub last evening. They had a very serious argument. Yeah, and then he let me out and drove the car himself.
That doesn't mean anything.
Ellen Blake was killed about 1 a.m. Clyde came in about 2.
Good heavens.
This morning I found his handbag in the car. It's Ellen Blake's. If I were to tell what I know about it and produce his handbag, Clyde would have a rope placed around his neck by his own father. I doubt very much that the DA would ever be reelected.
How could Clyde do such a thing?
I mean, he lost his head. She was pretty insistent.
But you don't have to say anything about this.
Oh, I wouldn't have to.
If this came out, Henry would be ruined.
That's just what I mean. Now, you wouldn't want that to happen, would you?
No.
And it's all up to you.
Up to me?
Yes, if I cover up a murder, it might affect my conscience. I might worry a lot. But my conscience might be sad.
What do you want?
Well, it ought to be worth about $3,000.
Why, that's ridiculous. I have no such amount.
Then get it.
How could I explain what I wanted with $3,000?
That's your worry, not mine, baby.
Do you know what they can do to you for blackmail?
No, this isn't blackmail, honey. Oh, I'm not threatening to divulge someone's past. It's bigger than that. As a matter of fact, you're going to bribe me to withhold a piece of important evidence. So you see, I hold the aces.
Get out of here. Get out.
Okay. But I know somebody who has a lot of dough, and I'd just as soon turn the information over to Blake as anyone else. I just wanted to give you a break.
How about this diamond bracelet?
Oh, yeah, that'll help. But it'll be hard to get rid of. I'd rather have cash.
All right, I'll give you these diamonds, and you can hold them until I get the cash.
Fair enough. Hand them over. Thanks. You know, I thought that you'd see things in the right way. Goodbye, honey.
Get out of here. You rotten thief.
Oh, listen to it.
As the days pass, Clyde and Marcia are both turning over every cent they can get hold of to Rawlins. But the going is difficult, and Rawlins becomes more insistent. And one day, Clyde gets a message to visit the big boss, Jim Blake, Ellen's father.
I was told you wanted to see me, Mr. Blake.
Yeah. Sit down, kid.
Thank you.
Everything working out all right?
What do you mean?
You look a little worried, kid. I thought maybe something was disturbing your sleep.
Oh, well, I've been having headaches. I think it's my eyes.
Been seeing things, have you? In the dark?
No, I haven't been seeing things. I don't know what you're getting at, but nothing's bothering me.
Just when was it that you started meeting my daughter, Ellen?
I don't know what you mean.
Quit playing dumb. I found out about it today.
Who told you such a thing?
Does your father know about you and Ellen? I'll bet not.
Now, look here. If you think you can stop Father in this investigation by trying to frame something on me, you're crazy. You can't get away with it. I'll spill the whole thing.
Oh, you will?
Yes, I will. You're a crook. When my father gets through with you, you'll be behind the bars for the rest of your life.
When I'm put behind bars, kid, you'll be dangling from the end of a rope.
What are you trying to accuse me of?
The murder of my daughter.
Murder? I didn't kill her.
Can you prove that?
There's no proof that I did.
I've got a witness, kid, and he's ready to talk when I say the word.
Witness? That's ridiculous. Why should I want to kill Ellen?
Because she was in love with you, and you wanted to shake her because you were afraid your father would kick if you married her. Your father's out to get me, and I'm determined to beat him to the draw.
I didn't kill her, I tell you.
Ellen left that nightclub with your car New Year's Eve. You had an argument. She wanted to get married. When she got too insistent, you dismissed the chauffeur and drove the car yourself. And out on the ocean highway, you threw her out on the rocks.
I didn't.
Did you stop? Did you look at her? Her face mangled to a pulp, her body broken to bits on those rocks?
I didn't do it. I swear I didn't.
I've got a witness to the argument and the time element.
You can't scare me.
I just talked to Rollins, your chauffeur. He knows what time you got in, and he found Ellen's purse in the car.
I don't believe it. Where's the purse?
Rollins has it. He'll produce it when you get to trial, and your own father will have to prosecute you. Oh, I'll enjoy that. Too bad about that purse, kid. If you'd found the purse and Rollins didn't know what he knows, you might have gotten away with it. But you're stuck now, stuck with Rollins and the purse, and your own father will have to tie the rope around your neck.
Rollins is a liar.
It'll hold in court. The jury will believe him.
He's a dirty liar. I could kill him.
Kill him? You wouldn't do that.
Well, he isn't fit to live.
Well, you aren't either. But I'm going to give you a chance to keep out of the noose. I'll keep Rollins from talking if you get me a couple of letters.
What letters?
Your father has them. They have my signature on them. You can get them very easily. You get those papers, and I'll put the quietus on Rollins. They're addressed to the county supervisor. Your father intends to use them against me. I want them. Is that clear?
Yeah.
You get the papers, and we're both in the clear. Understand?
Yeah, you understand.
All right. I'll give you till tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. You can go now.
Yeah.
Remember, 6 o'clock tomorrow night.
Saturday night passes. Then Sunday dawns with the most startling discovery. Rollins, the chauffeur, has been found dead, shot to death in his apartment over the garage. No evidence is discovered, no weapon, no fingerprints, nothing. Now it is late afternoon.
Oh, this is a fine mess. A murder in my own home.
Everything will come out all right, Henry. You're certain to find the person who did it.
Oh, yes, he may have had some enemies. After all, we know very little about him. He'd only been here a short while.
Don't you understand? I'm the district attorney. Murder has been committed in my own home. Why, if I can't bring this to a solution, I'll be a laughingstock. I'll never be reelected.
We're trying to help you, Henry.
Oh, certainly.
I don't know what I'm going to do, but this has got to be kept from the police department. Once they get into it, it'll be plastered all over the front pages of every newspaper in town. Yes. I'll have to handle this from my own office.
Well, neither one of us has been out of the house, and we haven't told anyone. What are you worried about?
Surely, a man like Rollins could have had many enemies. Who knows what he'd been mixed up in?
Captain Stone to see you, Mr. Banning.
Captain... Oh. Yes, I was afraid of that. All right. Show him in.
Good afternoon, Mr. Banning.
Oh, good afternoon, Captain Stone. Well, what are you doing out this way?
We heard about your chauffeur.
Really? And who told you?
Oh, friend. Body hasn't been moved, has it?
No, Inspector Stone, it hasn't. Mm-hmm. Still in the room over the garage.
Well, come on, Skelton, let's have a look. You don't mind, do you, Mr. Banning?
Why, no. No, of course not.
Well, thank you. We'll be back in a moment.
All right. You know, I've got a strange feeling that Jim Blake knows something about this.
Blake? Why do you think that?
I don't know. He's just the type to think of something like this. Yes, a perfect setup for him. A murder in my own home. Nothing would please him better.
Why would Blake resort to anything like this?
Why? Because my dear Blake is in a tough spot. Yes. The more I think about it, the more right I think I am. Well, I'm going to have a talk with him.
I don't think Blake had anything to do with it.
Really? What do you know about it?
Well, Nothing, Father.
Then please allow me to handle this in my own way.
Henry, why must you be so harsh?
I'm sorry, Father. But I think you should keep away from Blake.
Why?
I don't know. I just think you should.
Yes. Well, when I want your opinion, son, I'll ask for it.
Well, here you are, Mr. Banning. We found it.
Found what?
We found this revolver behind the garage.
Well,
No, don't touch it. We want to check for fingerprints.
Oh, of course, I know better than to touch it.
Fingerprints? Maybe there are none on it.
We'll check it just the same.
Well, the killer would be a fool to leave his prints on the gun. How do you know it is the gun?
We'll find out. Ballistics will know.
How will they know who the gun belongs to? Maybe it isn't a gun.
We already know who killed him. All we need is proof.
No. How do you know? Who did it?
Your son did it.
What?
We were tipped off.
My son?
That's right.
Are you crazy? Why should Clyde kill him? He hardly knew him.
Look, Mr. Banning, you think I'd come to your house snooping around unless I had a very good reason?
Where did you get your tip?
Well, I'd rather not say.
Who's his friend? Come on, you'd better tell me. I'll bring it out eventually.
All I know is that we were tipped off about the murder and told who did it. Your son threatened to kill Rawlins.
Who told you that?
Jim Blake. He heard him say it.
Where did you see Blake, Clyde?
Oh, I don't know what they mean.
Ask Jim Blake. Come on, Skelton. Let's check that gun with ballistics. A few hours later, Boss Jim Blake stands in the study facing the district attorney. There is a tense moment as each waits for the other to speak.
Well, Banning, what do you want?
I know what you're trying to pull, Blake. You're trying to get at me by framing my son with a murder.
I'm not trying to frame him. I just told the police that I heard Clyde threaten to kill Rawlins.
So far, there's nothing but circumstantial evidence. Clyde had no reason to kill Rawlins, and without a motive, Clyde is in the clear.
Yeah?
You had a scheme in mind to force me to drop that investigation, then your scheme went haywire. You pulled a boner.
What do you mean, boner?
If Clyde had threatened Rawlins' life, the natural thing for a man in your situation to have done was to approach me instead of the police.
Why?
Well, you wanted those letters, didn't you? How could you possibly make a deal for those letters now that you've made your information public?
I'm way ahead of you, Banning. I'm not so dumb as all that. I'm still holding the aces.
What aces?
The ones I'll throw down for the letters.
I think you're bluffing, Blake.
I know why Clyde killed Rawlins. I can supply the motive. I'll admit that without the motive, he'd be in the clear. But if I spilled the motive, he'd crack in 5 minutes.
I still think you're bluffing.
I know you've got a cinch case against me with those letters. But with what I know, I've got a cinch case against your son that will send him to the gallows. Not only that, but if I do spill it, you wouldn't dare show your face in this town again.
Sounds pretty gruesome. I can't imagine what it could possibly be.
I'll say you can't. Clyde is really in it up to his neck.
You really think he's guilty?
Certainly, but whether he is or not, he had the motive. And the motive for killing Rawlins will lead to something that can be definitely proved.
You mean material evidence?
I do. So in order to prosecute me, you'll be forced to prosecute your own son. I'll see to that. Now, you hand over those letters and we'll all be in the clear. Believe me, Banning, I'm not bluffing.
Blake, if you're telling the truth, then we're both in a very unfortunate position. You're a crook, and I happen to be a stickler for duty. I can't be bribed.
You mean you'd actually prosecute your own son?
I do. And if he's guilty, he can take the consequences. I don't believe he is, but I know you are.
I think you're crazy.
And I still think you're bluffing.
Try me.
I'll call your bluff.
All right, but you'll change your mind, Banning. If you don't, you're a bigger fool than I've ever come across.
Let's have it.
Get your son in here.
All right. Marcia, bring Clyde in here.
Yes, Henry.
What a sap you are, Banning. Over a couple of punk letters. Duty, not a bourgeois.
You want me, Father?
Oh, you can come in too, Marcia.
Yes, Henry.
What are you doing here?
Well, kid, I've been having a little chat with your righteous father. He sent for me. He's a little stupid. He wants to be enlightened. Maybe you can help him.
Yeah?
Clyde, I understand you paid a visit to Mr. Blake.
Huh?
Go on, better tell him, Clyde.
What were you doing there, Clyde?
Well, Blake sent for me.
Why?
Well, he wanted to talk to me.
What about?
Well, about what's he been saying?
I told him what you said to me.
Said about what?
About Rawlins.
What did I say about Rawlins?
What did you say, Clyde?
Nothing. He's lying.
Lying about what? We haven't said anything yet.
He tried to get me to steal something.
Steal something?
Now we're getting someplace.
Wanted you to steal some letters out of my safe.
Yes. He offered me a lot of money.
Money? I didn't even mention money. I didn't have to.
Yes, he did.
What inducement would money be to you, Clyde? You always get everything you want.
I offered you something better than money, kid.
What was it, Clyde?
He threatened me. Threatened to kill me.
How do you like that? You're in a tough spot, kid. You better start talking. You threatened to kill Rollins.
I did not.
I heard you.
Why did you make that threat?
Well, I was just talking. I didn't mean it. I couldn't kill anybody.
But you did say it.
But I didn't mean it.
What had you done? What did he know? Something prompted you to say it. Now, what was it?
Nothing. I haven't done anything.
You killed Rollins. You said you would.
I didn't kill him.
You killed him to shut his mouth.
What did he know, Clyde?
Blake's lying. He's just trying to scare me.
I'll scare you. You killed Rollins to keep him from telling what he knew about you and my daughter, Ellen.
What? Your daughter?
She was in love with Clyde. He wanted him to marry her. He tried to shake her, but when she got too insistent, he threw her out of his car, murdered her.
I did not. I didn't.
Rollins heard them arguing. Clyde dismissed him and drove the car himself. Rollins found Ellen's purse in the car next morning. Rollins told
He's
me.
lying.
I told him Rollins wouldn't talk if Clyde got me the letters, but he killed Rollins instead.
Was Ellen Blake in your car the night she died?
Yes.
Did you dismiss the chauffeur?
Yes, but I didn't kill her. She jumped out. She jumped out deliberately.
Why didn't you tell this?
I was going to, but then I got afraid they think I killed her.
Rollins tried to blackmail Clyde, then double-crossed Clyde and came to me.
Where's the purse?
Clyde probably has it. That's why he killed him.
I haven't got it. I don't know where it is. I couldn't find it.
And you were in Rollins' apartment over the garage.
Yes, but I didn't kill him. I didn't kill
I'll
Ellen.
believe you. Huh? Now, what do you have to say, Mr. Banning? Do I hold the aces?
No. I'll bring it to trial. I'll find that purse, if there is a purse. And if he's proven guilty, he can pay the penalty like anyone else. And then, Blake, I'll start on you.
You're a fool, Banning. You're crazy.
Come in.
Well, here we are, Mr. Banning. Got quite a bit of dope on this Rollins killing.
What now?
There were no fingerprints on that gun, but it was definitely the murder weapon. Ballistics checked it.
Well, still doesn't prove my son fired the gun.
That's right. But we did manage to trace the original ownership.
And what did you learn?
Well, here it is. The gun was purchased 4 years ago in Seattle.
By whom?
By Patricia Rollins.
Patricia Rollins?
Mm-hmm.
Did you check on Patricia Rollins? Who was she?
Yeah, we checked on her. We also checked on Rollins. Patricia Rollins was your chauffeur's wife. They both have a police record. Rollins was a confidence man, 3 convictions. His wife Patricia was implicated as an accomplice.
Anything else?
Yes, Rollins disappeared in New Mexico 3 years ago. Finally turned up here. Rollins must have had the gun in his possession. Or the wife had it. In which case, she could have killed him.
Quite possible. You'd better try to locate the wife.
Oh, here's a picture. We should be able to locate her without much trouble.
What do you mean? Good Lord. Marcia.
Yes, Henry.
Look at this photo. You know who this is?
Yes, Henry.
Sorry, Mrs. Banning. We'll check your fingerprints with these on police record just to make sure.
You don't need to check them. They're mine.
Marcia, don't.
Why not, Clyde?
It doesn't prove anything. Maybe somebody got into the apartment and killed him with his own gun.
That's just what happened. He did have the gun, but I killed him. 3 years ago, he deserted me. Later, I heard he was dead. Then after I'd married Henry, he turned up here. I knew what he was going to do eventually. But I was in love with Henry. Then when he found the purse, he used it to blackmail me. And when he double-crossed both Clyde and me by going to Blake, we determined to get the purse. But he caught us ransacking his apartment. He pulled the gun and struck me. We all fought for it. Clyde wrestled with him, and I got the gun and shot him.
Why did you tell Marcia? Why?
Why not? It doesn't matter now.
Tell me, did she shoot in self-defense, Clyde?
Certainly. He'd have killed us both.
Well, that will clear you of the Rollins charge.
But what about Ellen? He still killed Ellen.
Captain Stone, there's a missing purse. Ellen Blake's purse. I want it. You can start looking in Rollins' apartment. I'm going through with this, Blake, regardless of the consequences.
Take a look at him, Captain. A man who'd sacrifice his own son, his own life, for a couple of measly little letters. What a sap.
But District Attorney Banning, a determined man, goes through with his promise. The case against his son is in preparation. The day of the opening of the trial is set. Then the missing purse is found, and in it is a note to Clyde, written and signed by Ellen Blake. Go on, read it, Clyde.
Dearest Clyde, I've tried every way to reach you. I know now that you've been avoiding me. I can't go on. I know you're false, but I love you. I can't help it. So I'm going to kill myself. I don't know how, but some way will present itself. Goodbye, Clyde. I hope you find the happiness I've been denied. I love you. Ellen.
Well, there you are. Ellen Blake did jump from Clyde's car. And Clyde, even though he did seem a weakling, was able to fight when it came to a showdown. And Marcia, because of her great love for Banning, was willing to sacrifice everything for him. So Clyde is cleared, Marcia is acquitted, and Blake is sent to prison. And that is the end of a story which might have ended very tragically had it not been for the note in Ellen's purse. Very convenient, that note.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, 9:30.
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You're listening to HOJO Radio. More classic old-time radio coming your way next.
Wait a minute. Have you heard the strange tales of the Whistler? Sunday night, and again, CBS presents The Whistler.
I, the Whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who have stepped into the shadows. And so I tell you tonight the strange story, The Nemesis. A big railroad station in America's biggest city. Many people here, many lonely people, many desolate souls, many strange people. Look over there, standing beside that exit, a beautiful girl with blue eyes and blonde hair. Lovely creature. Beside her stands a man, a dark, silent man. The blonde and the silent man search the crowd from the incoming trains feverishly. Then suddenly the beautiful blonde speaks.
Lou, there he is. That's Cartier.
Where?
The swanky one with the Homburg hat and the cane.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, Sandra. I'll get him.
See you later. You know what to do.
Yeah, I know. So long, Sandra.
Lou, the dark, silent one, slips quickly through the crowd and steps up behind the man in the Homburg hat.
Your name Cartier?
What?
Cartier the Great? The magician?
Why, it's right. Who are you?
Doesn't matter. Just start walking.
What'd you say?
Out the door. That's a gun in your ribs, Mr. Cartier, so just keep walking.
What does this mean? I demand an
Just keep walking. To that cab at the curb.
Where are you taking me?
You'll be surprised.
Yes, Cartier, you will be surprised. You're going to the very place you planned not to go. But here you are, Cartier, right in front of it. A tall office building on 42nd Street.
All right. Get out, Cartier. You know where you are now.
Grover. It's Grover.
Get out. And no funny moves. I'll go along with you.
Careful, Cartier. Very careful across the walk into the elevator and up to the 7th floor. Well, here we are, the 7th floor.
All right, I'll leave you here, Cartier. Go on in.
What does he want? What does Groberg want?
I don't know, buddy. But go on in, you'll find out. See you later.
Oh, there you are, Groberg. Well, what a surprise. I really didn't expect to find you here this time of night.
And why did you come?
Oh, I wanted to see you.
Did you? I sent someone to see that you did come.
Well, now, wait a minute. I resent this. I'm getting a new manager tomorrow.
No, you're not. Not tomorrow or any other day.
Wait a minute. Are you threatening me, Groveberg?
That depends. Where is it?
What?
The $2,000 you owe me.
Oh, well, I had a little trouble.
You used that the last trip.
Well, I'm sorry to say I haven't a cent, but I'll get it now. Give me a little time.
I've given you 2 years.
You'll get it. You act as though I was trying to beat you out of it.
I would if you got half a chance. Now, get this. I need that money, and I need it right away. I'm giving you exactly 5 days to dig it up.
But I haven't got it.
Then get it. I'll be waiting here at 6 o'clock next Saturday night. And believe me, Cartier, you'd better have it.
And if I don't?
And I'll blackball you in every agency in the country. I'll see that you never work in vaudeville again.
You wouldn't dare.
Wouldn't I?
Goldberg, I'll pay you that $2,000. When I get ready.
Saturday night.
No bushy-haired, fat-face like you's going to threaten me. I don't need you. I can get a booking any day in the week.
Try it.
I don't like your nasty attitude. Good night, Groveberg.
Wait a minute, Cartier. How would you like to dig up 3,000 instead of 2?
What do you mean?
Take a look at this. Ever see this check before?
George Welton, $1,000.
Notice your signature. And see what it says? No account in this bank. You know, you shouldn't pay gambling debts with rubber checks.
Where'd you get that?
Georgie Welton needed some money, so I took it off his hands. Georgie's my partner now.
What are you going to do with it?
Keep it till 6 on Saturday night. If you don't hand over the money, this goes to the DA. 6 o'clock, Cartier.
You're a swine, Grover.
You'll get the money?
No. No, not by Saturday, not 10 years from Saturday.
That final?
Yes, that's final.
Okay, too bad. This is the end of a great career.
And you can go to the devil. Better get booking. Who'll I see first? Matt Rubicam.
Well, here you are, Cartier, standing in his office. It's Tuesday morning. You've got till Saturday.
Good morning. May I help you?
Yes, I'd like to see Mr. Rubicam. Cartier is the name.
Mr. Cartier to see you, Mr. Rubicam. Oh, yes, sir. He says he can't see you, Mr. Cartier. He's in conference.
What?
I'm sorry.
Nat Bromley, there's a swell guy. Tried to sign me up for years.
It's Wednesday now. Not much time left. Hurry, Cartier.
Nat, how are you?
I'm busy.
Look, I want to talk to you about a booking.
Leave your number with the boy.
Bromley, I wouldn't let you handle me if you begged me on your knees. I'm Cartier the Great. I'm big time. I'll show him.
It's Wednesday now. Only 2 days left. Harry Masnick. Tackle him.
Hello, Harry. How goes it?
Oh, hello, Cartier.
I want to talk over that offer you made me.
What offer?
Why, any one of the 10 you made me last year.
You don't seem to remember any offer.
What? Are you kidding?
What do you do?
Now, wait a minute. Get down off your high horse, Harry.
Sorry, magic ain't going this season. I could place a dog act.
If I didn't think you were kidding, I'd take a poke at you. It's Grolberg, that dirty rat. I didn't think he'd do it. Cut me out as clean as a whistle. This is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday, and the next day is... What was it Grolberg said?
The end of a great career.
This is Saturday. Not much time now. Time. That's what you want, Cartier. Time, remember? Hurry. It's 5 till 6. Grolberg's waiting.
Hello, Grolberg.
Oh, hello.
Now, look, Grolberg, have a heart, will
What do you want?
I didn't think you'd go through with it. I can't get booking any place. Now, how do you expect me to pay you back?
You said you didn't intend to.
I know, but I've got a proposition to make about that check.
Nothing doing. You made your choice.
Now, you're not really going to turn it over to the DA?
With pleasure.
I see. Hey, what's a gun on your desk for?
Gun? Oh. I figured you'd be coming back, but I wasn't sure just what frame of mind you'd be in.
You expect me to believe that?
I don't care whether you do or not.
You know what I think?
I'm listening.
I think your back's against the wall. I think you're broke and you're facing something unpleasant.
Well, if I am, you aren't helping much.
I might.
How?
I've got a ring here that's worth at least $2,000.
Oh, I don't want your ring.
Now, wait a minute. Take a look at it. It's a cat's eye.
Yeah?
Yeah, it looks 4 miles deep. Notice the cut, the coloring, the depth of it?
Yeah.
This ring is worth money, Goldberg. A lot more than that check. I can't pay you all I owe, and maybe you can't pay all you owe, but a little would help us both.
Yeah?
You notice the fire in it? You see? You notice how it flares?
Yeah.
You're broke, Goldberg. You're broke. That's it. You're a failure. You haven't a chance. You're through. Look at this ring. This ring for the check. Okay. Give me the ring. There's only one way out for you, Goldberg. Better take that gun on your desk and use it for a one-way ticket. That's the best way out for you. You're a failure. You're washed up. You're through.
A failure. Washed up. Through.
Sorry, Goldberg. Good night.
Tom? Oh, Mr. Cartier.
What time is it?
5 after 6.
Thanks. Good night. See you in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Hello there, Billy. Give me a hand with these buckets, will you?
Sure. Well, what floor are you starting on tonight?
7. Mamie's taking them up to 6. Here we are.
Let's get it.
Work. At 65, I should have a place of my own with a garden. And here I am, slaving away at $12 a week.
Ain't much. But I only make 17, and I got a wife who likes clothes.
I heard that before.
Here you are.
Thanks. I'll ring when I'm ready for the next floor. Oh, what's that?
A shot. Come from right across the hall.
Goldberg's office.
Come on. Gee whiz. It's Goldberg.
Shot himself. Holy Mother, get the police.
Now the same night, and we are standing at an open window 8 flights up, still in Manhattan. That wide space out there is Washington Square. Yes, we're on Washington Square South, Greenwich Village. Artists, sculptors, models, actors, poets, and paupers. Behind you, in this cheap apartment, a party's in progress.
Come on, folks. How about another drink?
Okay, make mine a Tom Collins.
Have a Cuba Libre.
Help yourself in the kitchen. That's the best way. What's wrong with you, Sandra?
Nothing's wrong. Why?
Oh, come on now. Why more? Cheer up.
Hey, Sheriff. Who else is coming tonight?
Oh, quite a crowd.
Do you know who I like?
No, who?
That big, good-looking football player from Oklahoma. You know, the one he laughs all the time.
Ralph Brent?
Yeah, I like him. He's wealthy, isn't he?
Oh, that is why you like him. Who else is coming?
Well, remember Cartier, the magician?
Oh,
He said he'd try to come.
Well, maybe he'll do some of his tricks again. Oh, hurry, it's hot in here.
Well, Ricardo, open that window in the kitchen. Get a breeze in there, huh?
Oh, somebody's at the door.
Hello, Cartier. Glad you could make it. You know everybody. Make yourself at home. Refreshments in the kitchen. Help yourself.
Thanks. Hello, everybody.
I think you know everybody. Sandra Hale. Cartier the Great.
Oh, yes, the magician. Yes, I should say I do know him.
Hello, Sandra. How are you? Will you help me in the kitchen?
Why, can't you pull your drinks out of your hat?
yeah, but it's awful stuff.
Come along, then.
Let's see. What have we? Oh, yes. This is for me. How have you been, Sandra?
I hear you've been on the road a year.
That's right. Didn't you miss me? What have you been doing?
Modeling.
Modeling? Here, watch. There. Drink right out of your sleeve. Ever see that one?
Yes, too often. Better save your tricks for the crowd. They'll be jealous. Come on, let's join them.
All right.
Come on, Cartier. We're waiting to be hoodwinked. What have you got in your bag this time?
Oh, a few oldies, a couple of new ones.
We don't care. I love them all.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. You see this scarf? Wait a minute. All right, here's the scarf. Now, nothing in it. I wave it twice in the air, pass it around the room, and then I place it gently on Bella's head. Now, I remove the scarf, and there you are.
What is it? What happened?
Well, feel the top of your head, Bella.
Ain't it there?
Oh, feel.
Okay. That's a dirty trick.
Oh, you scared her.
Oh, she'll get over it. It was a white mouse. Come on in here, Sandra. I want to talk to you. Tell me, who do you model for, Sandra?
I did do some fashion photographs.
Did?
Yes, but lately it's been slow.
How lately?
Well, as a matter of fact, I worked only 4 times this year.
Only 4 times.
Mm-hmm. My books show $100 in the past year.
Really? Well, why don't you try something else? Why waste time modeling?
What, for instance?
Now, why don't you marry me, Sandra? You know I love you. I've always loved you.
Why don't you give me a job?
As what?
An assistant.
So, you know, I believe you've got something there. I'd like that.
Good. When do we start rehearsal?
Right now.
Now? Oh, this is so sudden.
Oh, there's a lot to learn. It takes several months of hard work.
I don't mind.
Now, I've got several new ideas for next season, but I haven't decided on anything definite.
We could do a hypnotist act. I could be a stooge.
Hey, Cartier, come out of the kitchen. Big championship fight's on tonight. You want to listen? The preliminaries are on.
Okay, just a minute. We're busy.
We can sure see that.
Sandra, have you ever been hypnotized?
Never. Why?
Well, it would make a terrific act.
Well, how do you know you can hypnotize me?
I could try.
Okay, try it.
All right. Here's a ring. Now, you gaze into it. Now, look away. Just keep gazing. You're going to sleep. The ring. You're getting drowsy. You can hear no sound but my voice. Repeat what I say.
I am going to sleep. I am getting drowsy. I can hear no sound but your voice.
No sound but my voice. Take this pad and pencil. Write. Jerry is a simpleton. Now, wake up. Sandra.
Huh? What? Oh, how do you know you can?
Can what?
Hypnotize me.
I've just done it. Isn't this your writing?
Oh, yes, but I didn't write
Oh,
this.
but you did. You did. I saw you, and very good. Say.
But I wouldn't write anything like this.
Wait. Let's try it again. Here, look in the light. Sleep. Sleep. My voice. My voice. You can only hear my voice. You're now asleep. Do you see Madison Square Garden? There's a fight going on. What round is it?
2.
If one man falls, tell me.
1 falls.
Which one? Where are your cats?
Cats, they hold up the other's hand.
Sandra, wake up. Wake up!
Oh. What did I do?
Oh, nothing very important. Come with me, ladies and gentlemen, quiet, please. I wish to make an announcement.
Oh, go ahead and make it.
From this day on, the act of Cartier the Great shall be billed as Cartier and Sandra. Yes, I've discovered a new partner. She is clairvoyant to the nth degree. I shall develop my new hypnotism act, and Sandra is to be my assistant. All right, okay. Come here, Sandra. Take this ring. Sit down. I'm going to show you, pighead, something. Now, all right, now, Jerry, now, I don't know who you've invited here tonight, and if I did, there's no way about telling who'll walk in the door next. Is that right? Yeah. Well, I'm going to hypnotize Sandra, and she's going to describe the one who'll enter next. All right, now, quiet. Wait a minute. Quiet, please. Sandra, sleep. Sleep. Drowsy. Look into the future. Tell us, Sandra, describe the person who will enter that door next. Speak.
A man. A small, thin man. Curly hair. A slight mustache. Eyes close together. Sunken chest. And he walks with a slight limp.
Hey, that's Georgie.
Georgie Welton.
Yeah, he's coming tonight. That's him exactly.
Did you say Georgie Welton?
Sure. You know him.
Yes, I know him.
The man.
She's saying something else.
The man. Oh, there's something wrong with him. He's in danger. In trouble. Yes, he doesn't know it. But he's approaching something terrible.
Sandra, wake up. Wake up!
Oh, what happened this time? What did I say? Well, why is everybody staring at me so strangely?
Oh, it's Georgie. For the love of Mike, where you been?
I've been busy.
Sandra was right. She guessed it. It was you.
Yeah, what was me?
Oh, she sure hit it.
Oh, it is uncanny. How do you do it, Sandra?
What are you talking about?
That's what I want to know.
Oh, nothing, Georgie. Forget it. Go on out into the kitchen. Help yourself. Anything you want.
Yeah, thanks. Well, what's out here?
Hello, Georgie.
Cartier.
Matter, Georgie? You look a bit pale.
What are you doing here?
Waiting for you, Georgie. Where you been hiding?
What do you want?
I want to make a little deal about that check I gave you. I'd like to get it squared up.
What kind of a deal?
Well, you see, I'm a little short of cash right now, and I knew you could use some, so I thought I might give you this ring. It's worth a couple of $1,000. Be a good deal. How about it?
Well, you see, I ain't got the check no more.
Where is it?
I sold it to Groberg.
Why'd you do that?
I needed the dough.
Well, you can get it back and still have some left.
Yeah, I could, only...
What's the matter with you?
Well, ain't you heard?
Heard what?
Groberg's dead.
Dead? Dead? When did this happen?
Well, this evening at his office. Say he committed suicide.
What do you know? Poor old Groberg. I guess he got up against the wall. Huh?
Yeah. Hey, gee,
What's wrong?
I feel kind of sick and kind of dizzy.
It's pretty hot tonight. Come on over to the window. The air will help you. Here, drink this.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Now, about this check. I'd like to have it. Take a look at this ring. This ring would make it more than worth your efforts in getting that check into my hands. You understand? I don't want anything like that hanging over me when I can possibly avoid it.
Everybody happy? Tim, that's Ralph.
Oh, my football hero.
Ralph, where have you been?
Well, I got delayed over in Jersey. Hi, gang.
You know everybody.
Yeah, sure. Say, has the fight started yet? I got to hear that.
Oh, it's on now. Radio's in the bedroom. First round's just over.
Yeah, well, I'm betting kind of heavy on cats. Say, anybody want to bet? I'm offering 10 to 1.
How much you say you were offering?
10 to 1.
I'll take some of that.
Okay. How much?
Oh, I've got 200 to put on Murray.
Well, now, that's a bet. Are you sure you can spare it?
I'm worrying about you.
Don't worry about me. No, sir. Well, turn it up. I want to hear it.
They come into the ring dancing. There goes Cat. She's a little groggy after that last one, but she's working hard now. There. Cat lands the left of the jaw. A right, a left, onto the... Oh, a hard left to Murray's stomach. And Murray looks a little tired, but he's in there punching. Yes, he's in there. Yes, oh, he landed a left to Cat's button. And he's following it right through. And up to the jaw. Another one. And there he goes. Cat is down. He's down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's out. Murray is the winner.
Turn it off. Well, you win, fella. Here you are.
Thank
Truth
you.
out.
Thank you.
Say, where'd you get that hunch, Katya?
I don't know, Jerry. I'm sure I don't know.
Oh, somebody else coming late, ain't they?
Yes?
What's going on here?
A party. Come on in, join us.
Thanks. Come on in, Murphy. Any of you people know George Welton?
Sure, we all do.
You know where he is?
He's here.
Oh, yeah, he's been here for some time.
Where is he?
Why, Hey, who are you? What do you want?
Police headquarters.
Police?
What's he done?
I didn't say he done anything. Where is he?
Georgie! Hey, where is Georgie?
He was out in the kitchen.
Well, get him, Bella. What's he done, officer? You've been here all evening.
Hey, Gary, he isn't here.
Well, look in the bedroom.
He's not here either. But how on earth did he get out?
Want to know?
Why keep us in the dark?
He went out through the window.
Well, that's ridiculous. There's no fire escape.
That's right. We just found him 8 stories below on the sidewalk.
Oh,
We found this note on him. Said he was sick and he was going to end it all. That makes it a clear case of suicide.
Suicide, huh? I thought he was acting funny.
Poor George. What a shame. I can't imagine what came over him.
Oh, gee, she told us it was going to happen. I thought she was kidding.
Yeah, who told you?
Why, Sandra over there. She told us before George came in the room that he was approaching something terrible. That he was in trouble.
How'd she know that?
I don't know. We were kidding, and Katya hypnotized her, and she described Georgie as the next one to enter, and then she told about something going to happen to him.
Oh, is that so? Well, who is she?
Sandra Hale.
Sandra Hale. Are you Cartier?
That's right.
What do you know about this Sandra Hale?
Well, I found that she was a very easy subject to hypnotize.
Hey, I'll bet that's how he knew who was going to win that fight tonight.
Yes, that's right. Under hypnosis, she has an uncanny power to see into the future.
What's the matter with her now? Why is she sitting over there in the corner?
Yeah, what's she staring at?
I just better ask her a few questions.
I'd rather you didn't just now.
Oh, yes? Why not?
I hypnotized her and...
Yeah, why?
I wanted to see if she could tell me the winner in the derby tomorrow, and you came in, and that sort of broke my control. I found it very difficult to snap her out of it quickly. I'll let her alone for a few minutes, and I'll get her out.
What's she staring at? What's she got in her hand?
She's mumbling something.
Wait a minute. Whose ring is this she's holding?
It's mine. In order to put the subject under, he must stare into a shining object.
Miss Hale. Miss Hale.
I asked you not to bother her.
Yeah? Miss Hale. Why, she's in a trance. Miss Hale, did you see George Welton in trouble?
Falling through space. Dying. He's dead.
Did he jump?
Yes. No. He's being forced. Forced to do something.
Against his will?
Yes. He's writing. Writing something.
Hey, Joe, give me that suicide note, quick. Miss Hale, take this. Is he writing this note?
Yes. But he doesn't know it. Someone is dictating to him. I'm dictating to him.
You? What else do you see?
A shining object. It's blinding.
Go on.
Now he's sitting behind a desk.
The thin man? George?
No. He is bushy-haired and fat. He's high up. He is bushy-haired and fat, with a large nose, a mustache.
Sandra, wake up.
Leave
wake
her
up.
alone. Will you leave her alone?
She's in bad shape. I tell you, something might happen to her.
A bushy-haired fat man at a desk. What's he doing?
There's a gun on the desk. He's staring at something. Something bright. He's saying something. No. Someone else is saying something. I am saying something to him.
Does this fat man have a gold front tooth?
Gold front tooth. Yes.
Hey, that's a perfect description of Goldberg, Georgie's partner.
Certainly is. He shot himself tonight. Is someone dictating to him?
Yes. I am.
You? Are you in the same room?
No. I am standing on the curb below. I am looking up and mumbling.
What are you mumbling?
Pick up gun. Only way out. Against your temple. Fire.
Let her alone. You're killing her. Sandra! Sandra!
What was the bright object he was staring at?
I don't know. Yes. I see it. I see it now.
Is it a ring?
Yes, a ring. A shining cat's eye. I must escape.
The same ring the thin man saw before he fell?
The same. I must escape.
The same you're staring at now?
The same, the same, the same. Cat's eye, cat's eye. Got you. Got you. I got you. I killed the
What do you know about that? Oh, I never seen nothing. Oh.
Well, Cartier, how do you like that? Hey, where is he?
Wait, Cartier's gone.
You dope, why didn't you stay at the door? Hey, anybody leave this room, Murphy?
Well, yeah, the fellow went upstairs, but nobody went down.
Upstairs, that's him. Murphy, downstairs and cover the elevator. Come on, Joe. He's probably making for the roof. We'll go after him.
Time. More time. One more floor. I need time. Time. One more floor. There it is. The door to the roof. 15 feet, that other roof. I can make it. I've got to make it. 15 feet or 15 stories straight down. 15 feet or 15 stories.
Cartier, stop! Don't jump!
Well, Cartier, there you are, 15 stories down. This is one trick you must. Maybe this is what Goldberg meant when he said...
The end of a great career.
Too bad, Cartier, that you didn't know what I know. A woman was your nemesis, Cartier. Yes, a woman. A beautiful blonde with blue eyes. Remember Sandra? Yes, Sandra. You really hypnotized Goldberg and Georgie, and Sandra, too, the first time, but not the second time. Sandra was faking then. She was too strong-willed for you. She was faking. She suspected you, and for good reason. She had married Goldberg a month ago. It was Sandra who pointed you out to the man at the station. Yes, Cartier, a woman was your nemesis.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. The Whistler is written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originates from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time,
I, the Whistler, will return to tell you another unusual tale. Good night.
This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Thank you for listening to HOJO Radio. We'll be back again very soon.